5:05 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends, and welcome on in to Nashville's Morning News. You know, I think we were supposed to have Joan there, and we ended up, with ABC News. Joan was supposed to be broadcasting from home, and then we went to bring her up on the audio console, and she wasn't there. And I think, we probably should have had better planning, because you never try really fancy broadcasting stuff on audio on Friday the 13th. I think that's what it is. Like, who in the world agreed to let Joan Jones broadcast from home on Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
Because, you can't blame, Joan for this. Well, I guess we can, because she chose to broadcast from home on Friday the 13th when anything can go wrong. So there you go.
If only it was also going to be a full moon tonight. That would be wild.
I feel bad for Joan, because now this poor woman who was going to broadcast from home today in her PJs now has to drive in. And it's like a 45-minute drive.
I think it's a little bit further than that.
Is it really?
Might be 45 minutes if there's no traffic. But it starts to, that end of town starts to build up pretty close to 5.
Yeah, listen, it's Friday she should have known better. It's Friday the 13th. It's so funny. She's going to be so mad when she gets in here. And we're talking about how it's her fault because of Friday the 13th.
I imagine she probably threw the car stereo on it already.
But the good news is Joan is on her way in.
I'm waiting for a text.
You think she's going to go ahead and shower before she comes in? Because you know that she just rolls out of bed, right?
They don't call it the dust-encrusted news corner for nothing.
That's exactly right. So she's just going to roll out. She rolls out of bed, and she's, going to do her thing. Now she's got to do the whole woman thing of getting ready.
Oh, yeah.
So she's got to put on her makeup. She'll be here. I predict that Joan will be here by 8:35.
8:35?
Well, she got to do the makeup.
You're going to put me through ABC for another 3.5 hours?
No, we may put ABC on timeout. We don't like ABC here. All right, we're done. A lot going on. 615-737-9986. 615-737. Do you know we've had a lot of weird... Joan just texted me. No shower.
My phone also just buzzed. She also wanted to clarify to me no shower. I thought I was about to get instructions about how to physically harm you.
Do you know what's weird? So this has been the day so far, right? So I'm driving in. I'm literally, and then I promise I'm going to get to business because people are yelling at me, get to the news. So I'm driving in and I'm talking to Joan. It's our usual pre-show meeting, but we're doing it via telephone. And then I hang up with her and I get a text message from none other than Jay Harper, who tells me that he's on his way in to do news. And I'm like, no, Jay, I just talked to Joan.
That was weird.
He's on his way. He's literally like halfway to the station. So, you know what? In retrospect, we probably should have had Jay just come in. But we didn't know that. And by the way, it's not, we don't know what happened to Joan. The audio console, for whatever reason, she's not coming up on the board. And I don't know what the problem is, but she'll be here about 8:35. So there you go.
You know what? You know what it could have been?
China.
I blame China.
China?
Oh, wait a minute. Joan's calling in. Joe, pick up the phone.
Oh.
Joan's calling in. Hold on. Hey, Joan, here's the deal. Whatever you do, Joan, don't speed on the way in because odds are you're going to get pulled over and they're going to think that you're drunk. Pull her up. Hold on one second. Oh, no. Our phone's not working now either. Joan, can you hear me? This is our life. This is what today is going to be like.
Oh, my God.
Now, here's the great thing. I got two interviews scheduled today, and if we don't have phones, I'm going to be a very unhappy camper. Trying to put Joan on the air. You know, it's really funny if like our entire audio console is taking a crap. That would just be a Friday the 13th thing, would it not?
It's asking for a passcode to access the on-air capability of the line.
Are you kidding me, Joan? We can't put you on the air. We also can't put on my 2 interviews. Why do these things
It's
happen?
not picking up on your end either?
No, I'm hitting the thing.
Oh my gosh.
This is what my day is going to be like. I had 3 hours of almost flawless radio on Red Eye, and then I come in here and the whole damn thing turns to crap.
Oh my gosh. You know what they say? It's a free-for-all Friday.
No, it's not. You know what? I would love to do free for all Friday, but we can't. You know why? Because we don't have any phones. Because it used to be free for all Friday. If I remember right, I forget who did that. Was that Brian? I can't remember now. But yeah, I used to do free for all Friday, and you'd have people call in and they'd, talk about whatever it is that they wanted to talk about. But we can't do that because we got no phones.
I thought you were going to pull the music back up.
I was going to, but
it was a lot more sad sounding without the music.
That's all right. We're done. All right, Joan, just come on in. So you need to figure out, can you figure that out? Because I seriously have 2 interviews that I'm looking forward to today. I got Jonathan Fahey and I got a foreign policy expert. So we gotta figure this out. Anyway, it is 5:11. I apologize for that lame A start to the radio program. Couple of things. Got a lot to talk about. So I didn't even, I did Red Eye Radio. I didn't even cover the government shutdown of DHS. I didn't even cover it. You know why? Do you know what I'm at the point now with all of these stupid government shutdowns. I'm at the point that you ever have a couple that are friends, right? Friends that are a couple, and they're always full of drama, and they're always fighting, and they're always breaking up. That's how I see the federal government these days. It's like, I don't even care anymore. I just don't care anymore. Now, they got to figure out a way to figure this out. But the bottom line is that ultimately, I think it's going to be the Democrats that look really bad here because when they shut down DHS, they're going to shut down FEMA. By the way, if I recall correctly, this goes back a ways. But, ICE and the Border Patrol, they are... they're already funded. So simply put, it just does not matter. But the Democrats, they're going to do everything they can to try to blame the Trump administration, and on it goes. 5:13, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Did you, just very quickly, did you see the whole thing with Keith Ellison? He was, Keith Ellison, the Attorney General for the fine state of Minnesota, and Senator Josh Hawley. I've got some great audio, and I'm going to play that for you. Coming up next, the Super Text line is open, 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. Oh, do we have Joan now? Do we have Joan?
Go for it.
Hey, Joan, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
There we go.
She's really low. You got to bring her up. Joan?
Hi.
There you are. Hey, Joan, I forgot to get you a happy Friday the 13th card, but I can go ahead and make you one.
What this is?
It's Friday the 13th, and you, Joan, chose to broadcast from home. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, clearly that was a dumb decision.
We should have just let Jay Harper come in.
We should have. Jay, I changed my mind. Come in.
All right, so...
Oh, my goodness.
So, you have not showered, but you're on your way in, but no shower. I trust, though, that you have brushed your teeth.
I did brush my teeth, yes.
Okay, very good. Very good.
Matter.
Small steps. Well, you know what? The second you do shower and you walk into the dust-encrusted news corner, then, you're like Pigpen anyway, because you're...
Oh, wow.
You end up...
Exactly.
you end up... All that dust that's encrusted also ends up encrusting on you. Are you like me, Joan, and the second you leave this building, you go home and you take a shower?
Well, yes. Yes.
That's me. That's me, you know? So, all right, so what time are you going to be here?
So
Because...
sorry.
Listen.
Okay.
Listen, you know what, Joan? Just like the NES, I don't expect any accountability from you at all. You know,
This says I will be there at 6:12.
You know, from what I understand, Joan, the Metro City Council is also calling for your resignation.
You know, they should. They really should. So should the boss. But
You know,
he doesn't have anybody to replace me, so...
no.
Come on, man.
Newscasting is a lost art, especially in morning drive when people don't necessarily want to work these hours. Except for apparently today, where we have two newscasters that wanted to work. All right. Anyway, so you'll be here in like an hour, Joan?
About an hour from now, yep.
You know what we ought to do, Sam, since the entire morning show is now just a cataclysmic.
Oh boy.
Cataclysmic.
Thank you.
Was that the train officially leaving the tracks?
Exactly. We're a comedy of errors today, so we might as what we ought to do is make Joan, stop by and get us some Friday the 13th donuts.
Oh my gosh.
That's what we ought to make her do.
Yeah.
Oh!
You must pay penance in the form of donuts.
Because you know what, the train is already off the tracks. We might as well just steer right into it.
I am wearing my stretchy pants.
Okay, good. That's what I did not need to know is Sam and his stretchy pants.
Really, Mr.
Yeah.
Telling me your bathroom schedule?
I didn't. You don't know my bathroom schedule.
At this point,
You're not the boss of my bathroom
Tell me
schedule.
their bathroom schedule, too.
You know what? I am an
I
overshare.
include showers in that because the shower's
okay.
in the bathroom.
Got it. All right. Well, Joan will be here at 6:12. So when you are let's go ahead and skip ABC News at 5:30. We will do it at 6 o'clock, and then Joan will be here in time for the 6:30.
Deal.
Not if she's getting donuts.
Nah, it's okay, Joan. I'm watching my waistline. I'm watching it get larger and larger. Thank you, Joan. We'll see you in a bit.
There's nothing going on in traffic.
All right. Go ahead. I think show's going really good so far, don't you?
Yeah. Sure.
All right, moving right along. Let's see. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and, because I don't have enough time to really dig into anything. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and take my break now, come back, and then I'll do a full segment before, well, I don't even have any news at 5:30. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to write off this entire 5 o'clock hour, but I'll do content coming back. It's 5:18, Super Talk 99.7. Nothing going on in traffic, so... and again, Joan, don't speed. They're going to pull you over, and they're going to think that you're drunk. I got one of those stories coming up where we've got all these people that were accused of being drunk, and they were actually sober. Jerry McFinley, of course, I believe Nashville's best investigative reporter, is on the scene. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. 5:18 on WTN. 525 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So Sam's got in his head that he's going to play love songs all morning long because in addition to Friday the 13th, tomorrow is also Valentine's Day. And I never really considered Def Leppard Hysteria as a love song, but you're right, it is. You know, it's not something I would put on if I was looking to get lucky, but that's okay. Some of us don't need music to get lucky, Sam. All right, take it off.
I guess what you're saying is it's not luck, it's all skill.
Sure, whatever, man. Anyway, let's get to the content portion of the program. People laughing, saying, oh, yeah, this is a Marconi-worthy show. All right, Mandis. Keith Ellison.
Number 3 mid-market.
So did you hear the exchange between Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison and Senator Josh Hawley? Now, this is one of my favorite stories of the day. This was in a hearing to talk about, of course, the Minnesota fraud. Clearly, this was combative. This is the way that it started.
Mr. Ellison, let me start with you. You're the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota. Do I have that correct? That's a yes?
Sir, you're aware of my job. You know the answer to that.
You're not going to answer my questions? Are we going to start this way? Are you the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota, yes or no?
You know the answer.
Mr. Ellison, you're in my courtroom now. You're under oath. So I suggest that you answer my questions. You the chief law enforcement officer of the state of Minnesota? Yes or no?
Now, when Josh Hawley asked the third time, Ellison gave, and this is why I wish we had video, but Ellison gave him like a side-eye eye roll. He wouldn't answer the question. So Ellison starts off being combative, won't even answer a question about what his title is for the record. And so Ellison, I believe that he knows that he's in trouble. Now, if you have been living under a rock, you don't know what's going on. The accusation with Keith Ellison is that he took campaign donations from this organization called Feeding Our Future, run, of course, by Minnesota Somalis. And they, of course, at the time, they were under investigation for $250 million worth of fraud. And so the Feeding Our Future people, what they do is they go to Keith Ellison, the top cop in the state of Minnesota, and they ask him to help them get these investigators off their back. And apparently the allegation is that he took care of them. He protected them. And they gave him, Keith Ellison, a big old campaign donation.
Let's try another question. Are you familiar with the $9 billion in historic fraud out of your state, including the $250 million in the Feeding Our Future program alone? You familiar with that? Don't turn to the pages in your book to get your potted answers. Are you familiar with it? Yes or no?
Yes, I am familiar with it.
Very familiar, aren't you? Because the people who ran the Feeding Our Futures program came to you in your official office in the state capitol December 11th, 2021, and asked for your help in getting investigators off their backs. They complained to you for upwards of an hour about state investigators going after them, and they begged you to help them, and you agreed to it, amazingly. And we know you did.
That's not
because
true.
It's all caught on tape.
It is caught on tape. I played you some audio from that tape. So they were complaining, the Feeding Our Future people, they were complaining about how state agencies were halting reimbursements to them because of the $250 million in fraud that they were seeing. This was, I think, the Department of Education in Minnesota. And so on the tape, this is what Keith Ellison says. This is the transcription. Yes, I'm here to help, indicating he will protect them from these investigations. He also says, let's fight these people. Same deal, fighting investigators. He says sometimes just getting the inquiry from the AG, the Attorney General, is enough to make people knock it off. And he talked about, of course, wait for it, discrimination. Discrimination against the Somalis, which, of course, is something people on the left always do. Don't look at the crime that they're committing, allegedly. Just look at the skin color. And again, all of this is on tape. And so Keith Ellison, I think the reason why he is being so combative is because he knows that he's caught. Now, the question is, will he ultimately face any accountability?
Send me the names of all these folks who are investigating him. You said to them, send me their names, and I'll take that list, and I'll call the person over at Education who's investigating them and say, what's going on? Why am I getting these complaints? Then he went on to say, I already have my team working on this. What day should we get together to discuss it again? You made pledge after pledge to them. You said, we've got to make sure this guy who's investigating them stops it. You said, you have my attention. I'm concerned about this. You said, let's go fight these people, meaning the people who are investigating the fraud. Why'd you do it?
Well, the
Why'd you help
answer,
them?
the answer is obvious. I've been telling you about the Somalis are very powerful politically. You can't win Minnesota if you don't win Minneapolis, and you can't win Minneapolis if you don't suck up to the Somalis.
So first of all, you're cherry picking quotes out of there.
Why did you help
I
them?
thought you were going to let me answer.
Why did you
Are you
help
going to let
them?
me answer?
Why did you help
You
them?
let me answer, and I'll answer you.
Tell the truth, and I'll let you answer.
I will tell the truth.
Good.
Let's do that.
That'd be a nice change. Why'd you help them?
Now see.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I really loved the back and forth between these two. I love how Josh Hawley puts Keith Ellison in his place. And Ellison is coming back as a smart aleck. Now, listen, Keith Ellison isn't doing anything that Pam Bondi didn't do, right? So, matter of fact, one of the things that Keith Ellison said was, oh, you're being theatrical, which is exactly what Pam Bondi said. So the bottom line is that this is how it went, the back and forth. Most media outlets, they will acknowledge that what Keith Ellison did and what is on this tape and the money that he received from the Feeding Our Future people looks suspicious as anything. And so the bottom line, though, is that this does look really bad. They spoke more about the transcript.
Money, money, money. They said, we will put our dollars in the right place. We will support candidates that will fight to protect our interests. You replied, that's right. They said, if you are secure in your donor base and secure in your power base, you can act the way you want. You replied, money is freedom.
So, I mean, this goes on. And the whole exchange, I think, was about 6 minutes long. And one of my faves is Josh Hawley. As a matter of fact, Sam and I were talking behind the scenes as this audio was playing. Why isn't Josh Hawley the Attorney General? Number one, I think that they would be loath to remove a sitting senator, especially one as powerful as Josh Hawley. But I would love to see him as an Attorney General. I think that he would do a great job, and I think that he would sure as heck do better than Pam Bondi. But anyway, that's all beside the point. So this all goes on, right? Hawley versus Ellison. Everybody knows that Keith Ellison is flat out, in my opinion, corrupt, based on everything that we've seen, based on the fact that whether we're talking about Keith Ellison or Tim Walz or Jacob Fry, they all stood by and allowed the Somali fraud to continue. Now, this is my actual favorite part where Hawley gets in one final parting shot.
As early as 2019, whistleblower. Don't talk over me. As early as 2019, it's my hearing, pal. As early as 2019,
don't call me
whistleblowers came to, well, I should call you prisoner because you ought to be in jail.
Well, we'll see what you can do
in
about
2019.
Oh, yes, that's what you want to do. You want to challenge Josh Hawley and say, all right, you want to throw me in prison? See what you can do about it, pal. Anyway, so that was just part of the testimony yesterday. And personally, you know, I loved it. I like to see Keith Ellison brought in, hauled in to have to testify and quite frankly, defend himself. Now, there is also something that was in the news, and I did talk about this during the Red Eye show. Have you heard what they are trying to pull in Minnesota? They're demanding that the Trump administration repay them for the damage that was caused by ICE going into Minneapolis.
The federal government needs to pay for what they broke here. There are going to be accountability on the things that happened, but one of the things is the incredible and immense costs that were borne by the people of this state. The federal government needs to be responsible. You don't get to break things and then just leave without doing something about it. So we're going to be asking the federal delegation to be investing and doing the things necessary.
I heard that last night. I lost my ever-loving mind. Because remember, what started all of this is the 8 to $18 billion that was stolen from we, the American people. They didn't rip off the state of Minnesota. It was billions of dollars in federal government money that was allocated to the state of Minnesota that all of these Somali groups ripped off. So you're talking about as high as maybe $18 billion of our taxpayer dollars that were literally just given to these Somali organizations, no oversight, no nothing. So my question would be, okay, so Tim Walz, when you and all the criminals running your state, when they will pay us back the $18 billion, then maybe we'll consider paying you back for the damage that was done to Minneapolis. That's number one. Number two, I'm sorry, but wasn't it you and Jacob Fry and Keith Ellison who basically instigated and allowed and encouraged all of the vandalism that happened anyway? Yeah, it was. It's Jacob Fry.
Governor Walz was talking about that as well, and he said he wants federal compensation because of what happened in Minnesota. He said you don't get to break things and then just leave without doing something about it. Do you agree with that there should be federal compensation?
I do. To give you an idea of the damage that we have collectively experienced, this has indeed been catastrophic. Now, to be clear, we're not victims here. We are tough. We've got the kind of grit in Minneapolis that I think is admirable.
You know what's so funny? When I think of Minneapolis, a little bit more to the soundbite, I'll let it finish. But you know what? When I think about Minneapolis, I don't think about tough, and I don't think about grit. I mean, let's just be honest about Tim Walz. He's not exactly a gritty tough guy. He likes to play the role of gritty tough guy. Remember that it was Tim Walz who said that the Republicans are afraid of his masculinity. Remember that whole thing? But I don't think of Minneapolis as being tough or gritty. And certainly when you look at Jacob Fry, when you look at Tim Walz, when you look at Keith Ellison, that's not how I see it.
We're going to make an extraordinary comeback. And of course, we have to acknowledge the impact on people, on children, on small and local businesses, on our economy.
In terms of money, we have no money.
No, they don't. Because the Somalis have all the money. That's one of the big questions. They ought to be all of them ought to be in jail.
Somali, no!
Anyway, so that is what is going on, and a lot of people asked me this morning if I was going to play this audio with Keith Ellison and Josh Hawley. Such great audio, and it really does bring home the fact that clearly we're not going to get much out of Keith Ellison, and I do want to see them hauled in front of Congress. I want them to testify under oath, and I want to get to the bottom of who knew what when. One of the other things about Keith Ellison, then I'll move on, but one of the things about Keith Ellison, when you look at what he knew when and what he did, what's this whole thing about? This entire segment, we've been talking about Ellison, where these criminal Somali groups asked him for help because they were under investigation, and he called off the dogs, and then he got a nice campaign donation from these folks. And by the way, where did that campaign donation come from? We, the American people. 539, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super Text line is open, 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. Got a lot more straight ahead. Now, this isn't a love song. I thought you were going to throw down love songs.
I didn't say all day.
Oh, all right.
I got lots of stuff going on here.
I was going to say, do you only know one love song? Do you know what so you know what we
I'm not
could
going to
do?
write you a love song.
If we were really lame, we could do like, hey, everybody, what's your favorite love song? Let's go to the phones.
If it was 1987.
One of my favorite love songs, Have I Told You Lately That I Love You by Rod Stewart. Yep. Got a lot of traction on that one. Anyway, so moving right along.
Rod Stewart.
Yeah, no, he's got a great voice. I like Rod Stewart. Anyway, moving right along. So, yeah, if you want to send in super text line 615-737-9986. What is your favorite love song? And maybe Sam will play it for you today on this day before Valentine's Day. You know, we could ask Joan what her favorite love song is. I guarantee you it's going to be something Phil Collins.
See.
Because she always, whenever we go to music, her go-to is Phil Collins because that's literally the only artist that she knows.
Oh, that and Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
Yeah, there is that too. Anyway, moving right along. So one of the things, and people are saying on the super text line, and I totally get this, by the way. People are saying on the super text line that they're tired of hearing about all of the arguing back and forth, the testimony, the Pam Bondys, the Keith Ellison, because ultimately it is all performative. And ultimately, will any of these people, and I've said this for years, friends, and I'm right there with you, that a lot of this is performative and nobody ever actually pays any kind of penance or consequences for what they did or didn't do. You really think anything's going to happen to Keith Ellison or Tim Waltz or Jacob Fry? No. I mean, ultimately, Hunter Biden, not a whole hell of a lot happened to Hunter Biden, and nothing happened to Joe Biden. So I think that I've been doing this long enough, and you've been listening long enough to know that, honestly, a lot of this stuff is just show. Tom Homan, by the way, just sticking with Minnesota for a second. There's a lot of disagreement, a number of different things. There's a lot of disagreement within the MAGA community and Republicans over a number of things. Number one, the Trump administration's handling of Epstein. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. Got a lot of people out there that are social justice warriors, and they're sharing the audio of Pam Bondi saying, oh, she owned the libs, and she really didn't own the libs. One thing she did not own was the truth, because she wouldn't answer any questions. So my impression of what Pam Bondi did was, in her testimony earlier this week, was not what I would say effective or impactful. I'm just going to tell you. Donald Trump came out and said that he thought that she did a fantastic job, and that's all fine, well, and good. I don't think that we'll ever find out the truth about the Epstein files. That's kind of where I'm going with this whole thing. I think that this is going to go by way of sort of like the JFK kind of situation. The deeper you go in the Epstein files and the deeper you go into Epstein, and did he work for, the Mossad and Iran-Contra? Was he involved in Iran-Contra? You have some outlets that will say, oh, yeah, he was absolutely involved with Iran-Contra because they hung out with all of those people from the Iran-Contra scandal. So he must have been involved. Well, then you'll have the New York Times or whoever that'll say, well, there's no actual evidence that he was involved in Iran-Contra. Again, you can also talk about the Mossad. Here's the deal. The deeper you go, the less clear or the less clarity you have as far as Epstein and who he was working for and who he was protecting. But now the question is, okay, so now when you look at what's happening next with Epstein and all of these investigations and the redacted documents and everything else, and we went through this yesterday and I went through it last night on Red Eye, is should the Department of the DOJ, the Department of Justice, do they owe an apology to these victims? I want to play for you. I'm bouncing all over the place. I need to know how many, I'll get back on track in the 6. How many more commercials do I have, Sam? Do I have any more commercials for this hour?
To 6?
Yeah, because we got to
No,
hit the. We're free and clear.
We're free and clear. Till
Okay,
6.
good. I'm going to need a ramp bringing me to the
Permission
top.
take off.
Gonna need a ramp going up to the top of the hour because it's a network, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I've got a back time.
Okay, good. So one of the things, let me do this real quick. Did you hear that a former Obama official has had to resign in disgrace over connections to Epstein? It's funny, I didn't see CNN covering this story, as a matter of fact, but this actually happened overnight. Former Obama official has had now to resign in disgrace over connections to Epstein. Catherine Rumler resigns from Goldman Sachs over the Epstein controversy. Catherine Rumler was general counsel under President Obama. So this was Obama's lawyer. And now she's had to resign from her current position with Goldman Sachs. They say that she will resign this summer after emails released by the Justice Department revealed her conversations with Epstein. She called him Wonderful Jeffrey, according to the Financial Times. That's right. So she's a big-time attorney. She leaves the Obama administration, and she goes to Wall Street. Big-time lawyer now for Goldman Sachs. She's always admitted that she never represented Epstein or advocated for him, but, you know, she knew him. She had a close relationship with Epstein. And she says that he would only ask her for legal advice, but the latest Epstein release does indeed show that she called him Wonderful Jeffrey in emails dated December 25th and 26th of 2015. 6 years after he served 13 months in prison for prostituting an underage girl. I mean, it is clear that this has backfired horrifically on the Democrats, because here we are once again. You have a Democrat official for Barack Obama that is out there now, 6 years after he was spent time in prison for prostituting an underage girl, and she's calling him Wonderful Jeffrey?
It's not even a good nickname.
Well, you know why she called him that? She called him that because he was giving her all kinds of gifts. So he was showering her with all kinds of gifts like highfalutin boots and handbags and spa appointments and a whole lot more. So that's why, these messages were on December 25th and 26th of 2015. So like right around Christmas. So this woman, I use that term lightly, this woman is accepting all of these gifts from this absolute scumbag. And by the way, she was also, and the reason I'm, talking about this is because this is part of the backfiring that we see on the Democrats. When, oh, look, another Democrat official going down because of her relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. She was in the courtroom when he was arraigned on sex trafficking charges in 2019. And at one point in 2017, she called President Trump so gross, worse in real life and up close. Really? Well, between Jeffrey Epstein and President Donald Trump, which one sided with the police and the investigators when they were looking at Jeffrey Epstein? That was Donald Trump who sided with the cops. That was Donald Trump who didn't need a subpoena to be called in to talk about what was going on with Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, apparently she also had an affair with one of Epstein's close associates as well. So this whole circle of people that were hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein, a lot of them just gross.
That's a nasty one. That's nasty.
So the fact that her name has now been all over the Epstein files led to some frustrations at Goldman, because they were saying, our lead counsel or one of our top lawyers is all over the Epstein files. And they're saying this was embarrassing. And so now she is forced to resign. This was one of the big conversations yesterday. And I don't know exactly when it broke. But, I mean, this looks bad. This looks very bad. But it's also, in my opinion, backfiring on the Republicans as well. You may have heard this audio. This is Nancy Mace. She was on with Piers Morgan.
But you would be shocked, Piers, at some of the names that I have seen that came across the DOJ in emails that the DOJ is protecting. And we're talking about people on both sides of the aisle. We're talking about famous people, rich people, people in power, prime ministers, former presidents, et cetera, media personalities that are named in these files. And that's why I say this is going to go down as the greatest cover-up, one of the greatest cover-ups in American history. And I don't believe the girls are actually going to see justice, which is why it's going to be incumbent upon people like Democrat Ro Khanna, Republican Thomas Massey. I'm a Republican myself who's willing to name some of those names in our committee work on the floor of the House.
Then why doesn't she do it? She sends out this tweet, right? This is why I was triggered by Nancy Mace. She says, we are prepared to go full-blown scorched earth for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and his friends, with no regard for our personal or professional detriment. She says this is about moral clarity. She says, Nancy Mace, we will burn every bridge, fight every battle, expose every name necessary to get justice for survivors. No compromise, no backing down, hold the line, right? Well, then why haven't you done it? I mean, how long has this been going on? Why haven't you done it? You're allowed to do it if you do it in Congress, and it's all part of the legal proceedings. You're allowed to read the names, Nancy Mace, so why don't you do it?
Whatever it takes, because this kind of thing cannot continue to go on. I want to give the next girl hope that when she comes forward, she won't be shamed. Her life won't be smeared in the Daily Mail or whatever the next press, is going to do. What they do to female victims and to children is disgusting, because they're protecting their rich and powerful friends. But you'd be surprised, shocked even at some of the names in the files.
So, I mean, you listen to that, and then you're saying to yourself, and I know Chris said this yesterday too, okay, so then why don't you tell us who they are? Why do you go and through the course of business and all legislation and all that stuff, why don't you start reading names? We've had all these people talking tough about Epstein for so long, including people in positions of power who simply refuse to name names, even though they'll say that they know the names over and over again. And it gets a little frustrating. And this is the big divide, one of the big divides amongst the Republicans. It's a huge divide. Some will say that Donald Trump and Pam Bondi are knocking it out of the park. I think Donald Trump is frustrated because the man is doing a lot of really, really good things. And he's being kneecapped by all of this. Now, I'm with a lot of you folks. I want the names named. I do. I want these guys to face consequences. The other thing about Nancy Mace and others who are refusing to name names is there are investigations underway as well. So hopefully at some point we do see these people brought to justice. And I was asked the other day, okay, so what is it that you want to see, Mandis? What do you want to see? I want to see people named. I want to see people indicted. I want to see people have their time in court. And I want to see them, if they're found guilty in a court of law, I want to see them go to jail. That's what I want. But all of this chest thumping, it's just a bit much, because we've heard from people like Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and others, they were going to take all these people down, and not one person has been indicted thus far. Now, those indictments may very well come, and in fairness to Pam Bondi, she's only been in office for roughly a year. And a lot has happened in a year. So I do still hold out hope. We'll have to ultimately see what happens. It is 5:59 on Super Talk 99.9 WTN. Super text line is open, 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. Joan is on her way in. It's been a comedy of errors this morning on Nashville's Morning News. ABC News is coming up here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. This weekend, it'll be 2 weeks since today host Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, disappeared. And while there have been a handful of leads so far, there's no sign of her.
This morning marks 13 days since Nancy Guthrie was apparently abducted from her Tucson home. Sources in contact with the Guthrie family now describe a growing feeling of intense frustration with the pace of the investigation and the limited amount of information coming from investigators.
ABC's Andrea Fuji. Police have released a physical profile of the masked man seen on Guthrie's home camera footage. He's described as being around 5'9" with an average build and carrying a black Ozark Trail hiker backpack. A partial government shutdown looming at midnight as Democrats and Republicans failed to reach an agreement on reforms at ICE. As a result, the Department of Homeland Security will not be funded.
Airports could see the most immediate impact. TSA agents will be required to work but won't get paid, similar to what happened after the government shut down last fall, which could trigger a wave of sick calls, leading to delays.
ABC's Nicole D'Antonio. A major change to the way pollution is regulated across the country. The Trump administration rolling back an EPA ruling that has been around since 2009 that states greenhouse gases pose a danger to public health. ABC's Matthew Glasser leads climate science coverage for ABC News.
Environmental groups are very concerned. I mean, greenhouse gases have been responsible for human amplified climate change and continue to be a threat to the planet. And so they are concerned that taking away the foundation of the primary tool that EPA has to regulate these things is going to lead to more emissions. And we know that more emissions is going to lead to a warmer planet.
Goldman Sachs chief legal officer and general counsel Kathy Rumler will resign this summer after newly released documents show she had a close relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, describing him as an older brother. You're listening to ABC News.
Okay, we still have that crash on I-65 southbound before Bethel Road, exit 104, with the right lane blocked. Stop and go traffic from Springfield White House, exit 108. And going to be an advisory to have out on the roads today, rolling roadblocks for crews, patching potholes all over town, honestly. It looks like even all the way out in Portland and Lebanon. Keep an eye out for those crews on the side of the road. Traffic every 10 minutes, every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
6:05, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, Sam, because the morning has gone so well so far, let's attempt to do a Daily Dan poll. You want to try that? By the way, we've been called jerks. We've been called jerks by the absolute best person out there, Joan Jones.
Oh, you got that text too?
Did you get the text too?
Yeah.
We were making fun of what Joan Jones' favorite love song would be, and I made a joke that it's would probably be something by Phil Collins, because that's literally the only artist that she ever talks about when we start talking about music. She fired off a text and started calling us jerks. So what we're going to do when Joan comes in, because tomorrow is Valentine's
I've got it
Day.
ready.
Yeah, we'll do Joan's favorite song, because it's actually a great song. I don't know if I'd call it a love song, though, but whatever. We'll argue about that with Joan. We already know that she's going to slash at least one of our tires.
Joan, I decided to drive a silver 2023 Toyota RAV4 into work today.
Okay. Are you talking about my car?
What?
Shut up. Moving right along. All right, so Super Text line, though, is open. People are slamming us left and right with their favorite love song. And there's a lot of really good ones out there, as a matter of fact. But I do want to do a Daily Dan poll, just real quick. Do you believe that we'll ever find out the truth about the Epstein files? You figure out a way to word that. But I think that's a good Daily Dan poll, because I don't think that people believe that we're ever going to find out the absolute truth. I don't think that we will. I love what Piers Morgan said. Is my audio up? This is what Piers Morgan said. There was an interview, and I posted it to my X feed, where they're talking about Epstein and all of the myriad of accusations that he is supposedly involved in. Piers Morgan did an interview with a guy from Drop Site News who has been covering all this. And so among the issues that they did discuss, why did he have a fake Austrian passport? How deep was Epstein involved in Iran-Contra? He ran in the same circles as those involved. Independent reporting will say that he was involved. The New York Times will say that he wasn't. What's his involvement with Mossad? And did he work for them? There are people that will say that he absolutely did. Others will say, no, he didn't. But here's the deal. Like he had ties. Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of ties to some very, very high-ranking officials in the Israeli government. So that's why there's some people that say he absolutely worked for the Mossad. Other people say, no, he certainly did not. I really don't know. And at this point, you know what? I'm not going to say that I don't care. I throw up my hands. There's Epstein emails going back and forth of him talking about the FBI and talking about Mossad as well. The other question is, did he work for the FBI? And so the deeper you go, and here's the thing about the Epstein files, and then I promise you I'm going to move on. The deeper you go into the Epstein files, the less clarity you get. The more you see, the less clarity you get. And I love what Piers Morgan said during this interview.
I've reached the point with the Epstein scandal where I'm pretty much prepared to entertain any conspiracy theory until I see concrete evidence it's not true.
Exactly. So, and it's kind of funny because I actually said something very similar during the taping of the Mostly Peaceful podcast, which we tape on Thursdays. It airs on Saturdays. Me, Murphy Show, and also Chris Hand. Now, to Minnesota we go. Tom Homan, of course, we had the news here yesterday as it was happening, where we are pulling federal agents out of Minnesota. The surge is drawing to a close. By the way, coming up at 6:35, going to speak with, I forget who I scheduled, Jonathan Fahey. Jonathan Fahey is going to join us at 6:35. We're going to talk about a number of different things, including the drawdown in Minnesota and also the very, very partial government shutdown that is going to happen. I guess it's this weekend. I'm not even really, to be honest with you, paying attention to that. But We'll talk about all of that with Jonathan Fahey coming up. But the borders are announcing that the surge of federal agents in Minnesota is drawing to a close. They're calling this a significant drawdown of agents, and that it's already been happening. Lots of reaction yesterday. But we have a sense from Tom Homan that it is mission accomplished. I've been talking, about how there's a lot of disagreement amongst conservatives over a number of different issues that are in the news this morning. Number one is the Epstein files and Pam Bondi. President Trump came out yesterday. I'm sure that you heard. He came out and said that he thought that she did a fantastic job. There's a lot of people out there that said, no, she didn't. That's number one. Number two is the situation with the pullout of Minnesota, where you have a lot of people that are saying, and really angry because they're saying that we are retreating, that the Trump administration is retreating. But the reality is that Tom Homan really is giving a sense that it's mission accomplished. And I will say it this way. At some point, it had to end. And if we're ultimately getting what we were asking the government of Minnesota to do and Minneapolis to do, which is work with us in giving us those bad hombres and working with us to go and these bad guys that were in Minnesota's jails and giving them to ICE so that they can be deported. If we're now seeing that cooperation, that's a good thing, friends. Take the win. If they're going to cooperate with ICE and we don't have to go into the streets with all of that insanity, then absolutely that is a win. Now, we have a sense from Tom Homan, it is mission accomplished in Minnesota. Here's some of what he had to say.
In addition to taking public safety threats off the street, ICE here in this state have located 3,364 missing unaccompanied alien children. Children that the last administration lost and weren't even looking for. That's because of the leadership of President Trump, these children were located.
Right. I mean, that's a lot of kids. Now, remember what happened in the Biden administration. I know that I don't have to remind you, but I will. They allowed in hundreds of thousands of kids and then simply lost track of them. Couldn't reach them. Couldn't reach the family members. Couldn't reach the sponsors. And that has been a major part of Joe Biden's immigration failures is these lost kids. We saw the same thing in Memphis as well. So take the win. I don't believe that we're putting our tail between our legs and running away. I don't believe that that's what we're doing. But as usual, people on the left, they have absolutely no interest in giving Donald Trump any kind of props for because we've all been talking about this, right? The lower crime rates, that is huge. Abby Phillips said something on CNN that triggered your fair host. I'm going to play it coming up next because you just heard Tom Homan talking about the recovery of the lost kids. You're not going to believe what Abby Phillips said. She's the rated 43rd cable show in the country with her show over there on CNN. She said something that absolutely was gaslighting. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more straight ahead. 6:15, time to check the roads on WTN. All right, as far as your weather goes, sunny today, a high of 61, winds light and variable. Tomorrow, Saturday, cloudy, and expect some showers on Sunday. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News. All right, so this is what Abby Phillips said. Remember what Tom Homan said about how the Trump administration, they found in Minnesota 3,400 lost kids. This is what Abby Phillips said on CNN.
I know Tom Homan has been big on this lost children thing. But the idea that these children were lost or missing has never been true. Some of them were released into the custody of relatives or other caretakers, which is part of the process over many years.
They often were released to adults who weren't verified.
Listen, all I'm saying is that his characterization of them as being lost has never been accurate. And
You're lying. Abby Phillip is lying. New York Times reported that there were hundreds of thousands of kids that were allowed into the United States. Biden's HHS releases these kids, and when they tried to do wellness checks on these kids, they couldn't find them. They couldn't get in touch with their families. They couldn't get in touch with their sponsors. So I guess my question to Abby Phillip would be, are we bickering over what the word lost means? That would be my question.
it wasn't accurate when he started saying it a year ago. It's still not accurate today. There are a lot of different reasons why those children were released into the custody of adults in the interior of the United States. That is not the same thing as those children being lost.
So they couldn't get in touch with the kids. They couldn't get in touch with their families. They couldn't get in touch with their sponsors, and they didn't know where they were. That seems to me like a pretty good definition of lost. A lot of these kids, as you folks know, ended up being exploited, dangerous work conditions. They had to be rescued from these situations as well. The Department of Homeland Security finds that children were sexually exploited, abused physically, labor trafficking, horrible, horrible experiences for these kids. So if we're going to split hairs over the word lost, we can. But it does seem to me that if Biden allowed them in, brought them in, placed them with unvetted or poorly vetted sponsors, which did happen, then Biden's administration can't find them, can't get in contact with them. That does seem to be the definition of lost. And so we, as usual, the Democrats seem to be lost in their attempt to tell the truth because they simply can't. Basically, Homan came in a couple of weeks ago. This is my impression. Homan comes in a couple of weeks ago and sat down and just spoke to local leaders in Minnesota and said, look, we simply cannot keep doing this insanity. People are dying, and it doesn't look good for anybody. And this is what he told Laura Ingraham.
He sent me to Minneapolis to do three things. De-escalate, done. Take public safety threats off the street. Over 4,000 illegal aliens were arrested, done. Gain cooperation from state and local law enforcement so it makes the agent's job safer to arrest a public safety threat in the safety and security of a facility, done. But even though we're drawing down resources, we still want to have hundreds of special agents here drawing down on the fraud here from the Somatic community and others. Those fraud investigations can continue until they're done. We're going to hold people responsible. We're also got investigators here doing the church investigation to include Don Lemon. We're not walking away from anything. We've achieved what we came here for. This is like any other surge operation. L.A., it ended. Los Angeles, it ended. Charlotte, it ended. New Orleans, it ended. This is ending the surge, but we're not going away. And let me say this. Over 800 flights a day land in St. Paul, Minnesota. If we need to come back, we'll come back.
So that's Tom Homan. And by the way, I want to do another Daily Dan poll where we talk about, because we did do one earlier, will we ever know the truth of Epstein? 88% said no, we will never learn the truth of Epstein.
It was more like 9999.
Oh, okay. So vast majority of WTN Nation listening to the morning show, no, we're not going to find the truth about Epstein. I want to know what they think about Minnesota and our pullout of Minnesota. Was it a turn and run, a cut and run? Are we leaving with mission accomplished? Or maybe that's how you frame it. Is it mission accomplished or mission failure in Minnesota? Because a lot of people are framing this whole thing as a retreat.
Are we successfully pulling out?
If that's what you want to do, that's fine. And that Donald Trump is looking at polling that shows him underwater with this kind of enforcement because Donald Trump, because we all know that the president takes polling very seriously. So I think that Trump was looking at the polling and he's realizing maybe this is a losing issue for him. But by the way, Tom Homan says, no, the deportations actually will continue.
Patriots, they're going to keep going out there and taking people off the street. And let me be clear, mass deportations will continue. And we're not rolling back. President Trump promised mass deportations, and that's exactly what American people are going to get. We're going to enforce immigration law without apology. If you're in this country illegally, we're coming for you. But what they're doing is putting politics ahead of the safety and security of this nation, and it's pathetic and it's sick.
Yeah, I mean, look, these things, obviously, they can't go on forever. And whatever the reason for the drawdown, the president has admitted that he needs a softer touch. His administration needs a softer touch with these deportations. But, you know, Homan also said, and I just played you the audio, Homan also said that they would go back if they have to. And that makes, obviously, all the sense in the world. And I do believe that we have seen success with Tom Homan. And I think that in Tom Homan and the entire ICE operation in Minneapolis, Minnesota, I think that we are walking away a winner, if you will. 621 on Nashville's Morning News, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super text line 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. Joan Jones is here, finally. Hello, Joan.
Hi there.
Thanks for showing up for work.
Well, I thought I'd pull a Sam today.
You know what's interesting?
Not come in.
Actually, it's kind of funny. Yeah. Sam didn't show up for work a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we had a little technical issue. And so you were trying to broadcast from home. You had to rush in. It is, of course, Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
addition
I see
to-
Friday the 13th playing a role in this.
You know what? Today has been a cluster.
Yes, it has been.
It has been a cluster.
Yeah.
From literally the word go.
Yeah.
The first thing that we tried to do on this radio show this morning, complete failure. And then poor Joan had to drive all the way into to work to.
Honestly, the reason that I like working morning show hours
Yes.
is because you don't have to deal with traffic.
Right.
There are nutballs on the road. Crazies.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you made it in okay. And so something happened to the settings. Remember Murphy Show did that remote from
curling
the curling thing?
Yeah. I think it's his fault.
It's somebody's fault.
Yeah.
But we end up paying the price. We'll see if anybody ends up with any kind of accountability.
Well, listen, I'll keep my knife handy for
Yes.
the tire slashing event.
All right, real quick. What is your favorite love song? It is not only is it Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
But it's also Valentine. Do you know, I'm going to be honest with you. I actually dread Valentine's Day more than Friday the 13th. Because I have a history of screwing it up. So what is your favorite love song, Joan?
It's by Queen. It's You're My Best Friend.
Okay. I love that song.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd call that a love song, though.
It's really not a love song, but it does. I mean, who's the person you're married to? Your best friend.
Well, hopefully. Do you know what I did last night, as a matter of fact? You can play this underneath. You know what I did last night? Would your best friend...
Yeah.
I consider Amy my best friend.
Yeah.
And so when Amy makes something that is god-awful, is it okay to tell her that?
I believe in open and honest communication.
I think so.
Open and honest communication.
Yeah.
She made some mashed potatoes last night. They were awful.
I'm sorry.
How can you mess up mashed potatoes?
I don't know, but she found a way. Yes,
I'm
I
stuck
called
on
them
what
mashies.
you called them. You call them mashies?
Yep, mashed
Okay.
potatoes, and they were not
Hey,
good.
You could.
They were not good. I couldn't. In fact, I told her, I said, I don't even know what is terrible about these, but they are terrible, and I love you.
God.
But
Were
I
they
can't
real
eat these.
potatoes?
Okay, so that was my saving grace, because they were boxed mashed potatoes.
Now that's what's wrong.
Crime in this part of the
Yeah.
country.
Well, because usually I'm the potato peeler in the house.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't there to peel said potatoes.
You weren't there to peel the potatoes for the mashies.
So she did, she did the boxed potatoes, and they were awful. And I told her they were awful.
See, mashed potatoes have to be real potatoes and a full stick of butter.
Yeah.
Only one stick? Oh.
Anyway, so.
There you go.
All right, so moving right along. It is 6:25. Joan's here to do the news at 6:30. Joan, what's coming up?
There's a disturbing story in the news this morning about a guy, a former restaurant manager, just convicted of child sexual abuse charges. Story coming up here at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. 6:25. And sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and choose when you move. There's no showings, no open houses, and no stress. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can skip the uncertainty of a traditional home sale and sell your home fast for all cash in as little as 21 days. Now, one of their clients, BR, said this: Mark Spain Real Estate sold my home within 30 days. We received 4 offers in just 1 week. Thanks to them, the process was by far the easiest and the quickest. She says, I definitely recommend Mark Spain Real Estate to my friends and family, and I couldn't agree more. You know, I've always been impressed with how easy Mark Spain Real Estate makes selling your home. For 30 years, friends, Mark Spain Real Estate has been serving families just like yours, and they've helped over 72,000 satisfied clients. You can trust the most experienced real estate team in America to sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Call them, 855-299-SOLD, 855-299-SOLD. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. There's markspain.com and start packing. .627 on Super Talk 89.7 WTN. By the way, big reminder, tomorrow I'm going to be out at the Southern Home and Garden Expo between 9:30 and noon, the Wilson County Fairgrounds. Going to be hanging out there with my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. So if you want to come out, you want to say hi, come on out. I'll be there. Again, 9:30 to noon, Southern Home and Garden Expo, Wilson County at the Fairgrounds. Would love to see you there. And this February, of course, this month, they like to say that love is in the air, and Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is sweetening the season with their Valentine's Sweetheart Deal giveaway. So new customers, when you join the yearly Beehive membership anytime this month, you are automatically registered to win the Sweetheart Deal giveaway. One lucky winner is going to enjoy an exclusive relaxing massage from Third Coast Salt, Wilson County's best, and a $100 Visa gift card for a romantic dinner for 2. So tune in for the live drawing. It is today, Friday, February 13th, Facebook Live. Find Busy Bee on Facebook. And by the way, when storms hit, Busy Bee has your back with storm-focused savings ready to protect your home. Right now, get 40% off a whole home surge protector with repairs and take $500 off whole home water repipes. And don't forget the Busy Bee favorite, the 93 or free main line clog promotion. If they can't clear it, you don't pay. So don't wait. Call them 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833. Buzz right on over to busybeehvac.com.
Good morning. It is now 6:31. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Got an accident for you on I-65 this morning, causing a lot of headaches. It's 65 southbound before Bethel Road in White House. Now, this one involves a diesel fuel spill. We're going to keep an eye on this one as the morning goes on today. A former restaurant manager in Portland, Tennessee, convicted of child sexual abuse charges. The account says that a 16-year-old girl went to the restaurant where he was working. She was looking for a job. 42-year-old Landon Long started pursuing the girl, eventually engaging her in sexual acts. The girl's friends went to school officials. That began the criminal investigation. Long faces now 56 years in prison. Funding is set to run out at midnight for the Department of Homeland Security, meaning Washington's headed for another partial government shutdown in a matter of hours. Democrats demanding changes to ICE before they'll agree to fund the department further, including requiring that agents stop wearing masks, turn on body cameras, and get judicial warrants, not administrative warrants, before arrests.
Enough judges to sign so many warrants, and they say unmasking agents will put their safety at risk. If Homeland Security does shut down, ICE will continue to be funded, thanks to President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill signed into law last year. But a long list of other agencies will be impacted.
FEMA, by the way, has months' worth of funds, and while the TSA is vulnerable here, TSA agents aren't expected to miss their first paycheck for another month. That is the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. At 6:33, Dan Mandis here for the Glock store, the now fully functional Glock store. The power is back on in their massive retail showroom. And the Shoot 270 indoor ranges, they're now powered back up as well. And those great deals they have going on right now, they do continue. So if you want to save some money and get some great gear, go to the Glock store. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. And if you haven't gotten anything for your 2A loving sweetie, well, you can go over to the Glock store and get them any number of things. You can get the new Glock GTL2 weapon lights for less than $150, 43X magazines for under $19, and the Savior Specialist range bags in both the limited edition Desert Night and Tiger Stripe camo. Both are in stock and on sale right now at the Glock store. And by the way, you can also still go and pre-order your new Gen 6 Glock, and you mention my name, you get that free mag when you pick it up. That's my friends at the Glock store. All powered up and ready for business. So last-minute Valentine's Day gift, this is where you want to go. The Glock store. Minutes from the airport and worth the drive from anywhere.
Looks like the cleanup has already been done at that accident with a tractor trailer on I-65 southbound side. It looks like it's cleaned up and traffic is moving there once again. Otherwise, this morning on eastbound 24 in Pleasant View, that's an accident at Springfield, Ashland City, and in Laverne, 24 westbound lanes at Old Hickory Boulevard, a crash there in the Gore. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.638, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super text line is open, 615-737-9986. 615-737 WWTN. Joan, we're still having Friday the 13th issues. Now we're having troubles with the phone getting Jonathan Fahey on.
It's really, there's a bug in the system
What
today.
is going on?
Yeah. I still blame it on Murphy, but...
Did Murphy Show people, I didn't hear it. Did Murphy Show have problems with his remote yesterday? Because this has been a complete engineering train wreck this morning. It's not Sam's fault.
Nope.
But, yeah, we're trying to get John. It has been like a Friday the 13th. Now, just so we're clear, I would much prefer, Friday the 13th over Monday, any day of the month, any time, because it's Friday as opposed to Monday. But still, all right, do we have Jonathan Fahey now? We don't. Oh, boy.
Yeah, it just gets better and better. I think we should start drinking. That's generally, I think Sam's in agreement.
Start drinking? We could do a drinking game. Every time there's some sort of a technical malfunction here in the studio, then we could all just take a drink.
We'd be sloppy drunk by now.
We sure would be.
Yep.
Man, I'd be underneath the table. One of the things that we want to talk to Jonathan Fahey about, if we actually can figure out how to bring him up on the audio console, is that coming up, is that tonight the government is going to be shut down tonight, right, Joan? Saturday morning.
At midnight, yeah.
At midnight.
You're not going to see very many impacts from this, though.
No?
No, because...
No, it's...
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joan.
Everything was already funded before they did this, and that's why the Republicans felt like they could do this, because it gave them time. TSA agents aren't going to stop getting a paycheck until mid-March.
Right.
That's when their next paycheck is due. Who else was funded? So FEMA was already funded. ICE was funded. CBP was funded.
Yeah, all these groups are already funded. So they're going to shut down the government literally for nothing at all.
Coast Guard will be affected.
Well, you know what? It's February, so I don't know if there's a lot of Coast Guards out there patrolling the beaches. Although I know the Coast Guard does a lot of other things.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
So part of this is the Democrats are demanding certain changes to ICE, right? So they have, if they are going to fund ICE, then they want certain things in return. They want targeted enforcement. And by the way, the Republicans basically said, we're not going to agree to any of this. The Republicans did give them a counteroffer. But listen to how ridiculous this is. All right. So this is what the Democrats wanted from the government, from the Republicans, so that they would agree to fund the Department of Homeland Security. The Democrats wanted the Republicans to agree to, as related to ICE, targeted enforcement. DHS officers cannot enter private property without a judicial warrant, and indiscriminate arrests and approve warrant procedures and standards. Require verification that a person is not a U.S. citizen before holding them in immigration detention. Now, I think that obviously all of us want a proper, a proper process to make sure that we're getting the right people and make sure that we are arresting the right people. I don't have a problem as long as these people are given their due process. The Democrats will say, oh, they're not getting their due process. And Tom Homan and the Republicans will say, yes, they are getting their due process. Do you know what part of the problem here is, Joan? Part of the problem is that you do have the... So I guess we're going to have to, hey, Sam, Are we just going to give up on Jonathan Fahey? You know what you could do, Sam? You could text Jonathan Fahey and tell him to call the 737-9986 number. We could do that if that's what we want to try, because clearly we're having problems with the hotline. So, but here's the problem that the Democrats have. I don't believe that the Democrats have any credibility left. Because, Joan, how many times have we heard the Democrats say something like, for example, ICE has arrested a 5-year-old boy. The Republicans in ICE, they're holding a 5-year-old boy in captivity or whatever it is. And then it turns out, no, the father abandoned the 5-year-old boy, and the members of ICE were taking care of the kid. I mean, we've heard those stories all the time. And so they just, to me, they've lied so much about what ICE has been doing that I don't buy any of it. Whatever the Democrats say at this point, because we've talked about this, whatever the Democrats say at this point, I don't buy. No masks. They want to prohibit ICE and immigration enforcement agents from wearing face coverings, which obviously is dumb because you have the Democrats and you have people like Hakeem Jeffries and so forth, and they've been essentially calling for violence against ICE. We all know that has been going on. As a matter of fact, we have been talking about how ICE has been facing an increase in attacks against them. I think it was 33,000% or something like that. It is absolutely ridiculous. I love this part. Require ID. So the same party that does not want any ID in the voting booth or to register for vote, they're requiring ICE, or they want to require ICE to have ID. I mean, isn't that rich? Require DHS officers conducting immigration enforcement to display their agency unique ID number and last name. Require them to verbalize their ID number and last name if asked. So that's also part of it as well. Are we going to try Jonathan Fahey? I see that he is. Okay, so let's see if this works. Hey, Jonathan, how are you?
I'm doing well, Dan. How are you?
Oh, I'm having a great morning. Joan's having a great morning. Sam's having a terrific morning.
Oh, it's been wonderful.
It's been wonderful because it's in case you didn't know, Jonathan, it's Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah.
And everything that could go wrong has gone wrong here on Nashville's Morning News. But real quickly, let's just get into the content. So it looks like DHS is, not going to be funded. It's going to be a partial government shutdown. But a lot of these things have already been funded through the big, beautiful bill. But I was just going through, telling folks what the Democrats have been demanding of the Republicans in order to fund DHS. And, as the story goes, a lot of these things that I'm relating to folks, to me, they're simply unreasonable. For example, and I was just talking about this, requiring ID. The Democrats, the same party that doesn't want ID for voting, is requiring or wants to require ICE and DHS officers conducting immigration enforcement to have to show their unique ID number and the last name and all of that. Clearly, that's going to put ICE in danger in a time where we've got, an increase of 3,000% in attacks against ICE?
Yeah, it's really insane. And, the number of threats they're getting, and those will increase online. I think Todd Lyons, in his testimony earlier this week, was talking about how people have posted videos of his wife walking to work online. So this idea that that's somehow reasonable in this day and age is really insane. But I think your point is great. Like that should be the Republican chess move. Should be like, that's a great idea. If you agree to voting ID and citizenship requirement, we'll give you this one, and then they would back off. But yeah, it's insane. But all of their demands really boil down to they don't want deportations. Right. I mean, that's really what they're trying to do. So they can, which just speaks to their cynicism. Their true view is no deportations, and they want the people here illegally to become citizens and be able to vote and vote Democratic. And they have to play all of these games and put all of us in danger in order to achieve that, because if they're honest, they lose. So they have to do all this other chicanery, and it's so shameful.
Chicanery. I love that word. Let's talk about real quick, because we're having this debate on the air and off the air actually as well. So we know that Tom Homan came out, and they are, some are saying retreating, but they're drawing down the federal law enforcement in Minnesota. So I think that Tom Homan and before him, Kristi Noem, I think they've done a pretty good job of doing what they need to do for mass deportations and, doing what they needed to do to get the bad guys out of Minneapolis. Some people are saying this is a retreat. Do you think this is a retreat, or do you think it is mission accomplished?
I think it's more on the mission accomplished side, and the main thing, which was the main issue in Minneapolis and in Minnesota as a whole, is the sanctuary cities issue. And what's going on now, they haven't officially unsanctuary citied themselves by honoring detainers, but what these jails are doing, and what Tom was saying, they're notifying ICE 48 hours before somebody's going to be released, so ICE could be there at the front door to arrest them and remove them. So, yeah, I think, Minneapolis, they really made a major concession to what they wanted to do. And you're right, they've already arrested, or I think it was around 4,000 people and really serious criminals. So at some point, the number of targets dwindles. And, it's not dissimilar to Chicago or New Orleans, or I believe Charlotte as well. They had surges, locked up a bunch of people, and then moved on. So I don't consider a retreat. I think Tom did a great job not only sort of organizing things, but also on the optics of it, because it does matter. Like the tone, we, in many respects, like you want to say I don't care, but you need the public support, particularly going into the midterms and everything else, to just show a level of professionalism and other types of things. So I think it's important, but overall, I would consider a victory if Minneapolis, Minnesota as a whole, continue to cooperate with ICE and turn over the bad guys. It's a long-term win.
Well, that's what they wanted all along. I mean, had they just cooperated initially, then, Alex Preddy and Renee Good would still be alive, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. If Minneapolis and the whole area around there was doing this to begin with, this would have never happened. And yeah, that's one of the worst things about this is some respects, Renee Good and Alex Preddy were victims really of the left's rhetoric and Minneapolis's inability to police their own community, because if they had a police force that was preventing people from interfering with ICE, none of these people would ever get very close to ICE. Like Renee Good would not have had her car blocking the road. Alex Preddy wouldn't have been able to get in these officers' faces. So it really just is a major, what all of these things a lot of the blame has to be laid at the feet of the public officials, meaning Jacob Frey and Tim Walz, because they put their political agenda, this open borders agenda and anti-Trump agenda, ahead of the safety of their citizens, which we know they did that before in 2020. That was, and it's just like, there's something just inherently wrong about what they've been doing and the way they've been handling things.
Jonathan Fahey joining us. All right, real quick. So Walz and Frey are now demanding that the U.S. government pay them back for the damage caused from the vandalism and the rioting, if that's what you want to call it, in Minnesota. They expect the federal government to repay Minnesota. Now, my take on this was, are you kidding me? When are they going to pay the federal government back the $18 billion that was stolen by the Somalis? What say you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if there's any liability here, it should be on the officials of Minnesota. One, on the fraud, but also if you think about it, we had to surge so many more resources into Minneapolis for ICE-related mission because they wouldn't turn over criminals. So, it's totally absurd. They can't control their own city. They had $500 million in damage during the George Floyd riots. So, this is a city that it's a complete joke. I mean, it's funny that he even says that because the federal government should be getting money from them for all the extra resources that are required to do what should amount to very simple work, but by their obstructive behavior, their rhetoric, they made everything more difficult, but utterly absurd. Tim Walz, I mean, he's just like flailing. I mean, I've never seen somebody that always looks overwhelmed no matter what the situation was. He always looks like he can't meet the moment, but I think he's just clinging to any status within the Democratic Party after the Somali fraud basically crushed his electoral career.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that you have both sides claiming victory, right? You have the left claiming victory because there is a drawdown, and you have the right claiming victory because we have been able to gain now cooperation with ICE, and we've also gotten a lot of bad hombres. One of the things, and I've only got like 45 seconds, but Abby Phillip on CNN said that the characterization of children being lost, and I'm putting that in air quotes, but children being lost, which is what Tom Homan says. He said we were able to find 3,300 lost children. And Abby Phillip says that characterization is wrong, that these children were never lost. And essentially what she's doing is she's calling Tom Homan a liar. What do you think about that?
I don't think it's certainly not a lie because remember, Mayorkas acknowledged that as well, that they were hundreds of thousands of people that came in and DHS and HHS didn't know where they were, and they were turning them over to sponsors that they didn't verify.
Yep.
So it's not Tom Homan didn't make this up. It was going on before he got there.
Yeah, I think Abby Phillip is. I don't know. Somebody said she's like Joy Reid with an inside voice, and I tend to agree because that is just absolute gaslighting. Anyway, thank you very much, Jonathan, for going the extra mile to get you on the air this morning, and appreciate your insight as always. It's 6:54. Jonathan Fahey on Super Talk 99.7. Joan's got the news at 7. Joan.
Yeah, we'll tell you why the cost of a new car may be about to come down. It's coming up here at 7 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. USS, United Structural Systems. Dan Mandis here. Tennessee is in recovery mode. USS are here to help. We've got flooded homes. We've got a weakened infrastructure, and they've been helping people out since 1994. Since 1994, United Structural Systems have been helping thousands of families and businesses restore their homes after foundation damage. And, as we've been telling you, where that damage comes from. Crazy weather like we just had. And year after year, tens of thousands of Middle Tennesseans have been helped by USS, from schools to homes and community involvement. USS has been huge in times of trouble and despair. Now, you know that to USS, they're about to build their, count them, 10th. They're about to build their 10th Habitat for Humanity home. 25 USS volunteers will be out in force getting her done for a needy family in Ashland City. Now, how can they help you? They've been out to my house many times. They've helped me a lot. What can they do for you? If you've got foundation or water issues, go with the company tied to our community. United Structural Systems. Gain peace of mind with you. With USS and their foundation repair and waterproofing services. USSTN.com, 615-488-7855. Little REO Speedwagon.
Oh, that's a good one.
Love songs the day before Valentine's Day. And so we're allowing Sam to play some love songs. And,
that could go drastically off the tracks.
oh, it sure could.
Yeah.
Knowing Sam.
Yeah.
By the way, one woman says, 3879, I don't know if it's a woman or not, but greatest love song, Yes, I Am, by Melissa Etheridge.
Oh.
I'm a big
I don't
Melissa
know that
Etheridge
one.
fan. I don't know if
Really?
I've heard Yes, I Am. But anyway, big fan of Melissa Etheridge. I have forgotten how many darn love songs there are out there. I mean, there's a ton. And nobody has said Journey Faithfully yet.
Oh, that's a good one.
Come on,
She
people.
walked down the aisle at our wedding to that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, actually a string quartet version, which made it all the more classy.
All right, very good. We got to go. It's 7 o'clock, WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A cold start for sure. It's 32 degrees right now, but a mild day ahead and then a rainy weekend. Now, no weather threats this weekend, but we'll still expect it to get pretty soggy. Stefano's full forecast coming up. And on that issue of the coming rain, forecasters say that up to 2 inches of rain could fall. And it sure is needed, but there are still so many areas with debris left behind by our winter storm. And Fox 17 is reminding Middle Tennesseans that all the debris can clog up drains and ditches in heavy rain. And it could cause some dangerous conditions, too. NDOT currently running a special countywide collection focused on all that storm-related vegetation, but it just couldn't come fast enough. So keep an eye out for flooding over this weekend. In the news, the cost of a new car is about to come down because President Trump just eliminated the climate change finding that allowed the EPA to regulate greenhouse gases.
I tell them, don't worry about it because it has nothing to do with public health. This was all a scam, a giant scam.
The Trump administration argued that regulations fall outside of the law and have been bad for many businesses, including the car industry. A former Team USA skater has been killed in Missouri. Gabrielle Linehem, she refers to herself as Sam, was inside her car at a Starbucks in St. Louis when a man with a long rap sheet opened fire on her. Keith Brown had been wanted for 2 armed robberies that took place days earlier. And he's got a criminal history that dates back to the 80s. Brown is in jail without bond now. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com.
Investors' concerns about the AI shakeup in the economy dragged down stocks on Thursday. The Dow Jones plunged 669 points to close at 49,452. The S&P surrendered 1.6%, the Nasdaq 2%. Meanwhile, the data centers that drive AI are also driving up energy costs. A new report from Goldman Sachs says power prices rose 7% last year. Harsh winter weather kept house hunters on the sidelines last month, pushing down home sales by 8.4% compared to December. The National Association of Realtors says that was the biggest drop since early 2022. The metal in the metals. Soaring gold and silver prices have made the medals awarded at this year's Winter Olympics in Italy the most valuable ever. The gold medal, which is actually 17 ounces of silver plated with 0.2 of an ounce of gold, would fetch about $2,500 if it were melted down. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Could be more losses. Indicators are all pointing down this morning. That's the latest news. We've got traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. There's an accident in Paragon Mills on Harding Place at Nolensville Pike. Another one, Antioch on Bell Road, west of I-24. McGavick Pike in Sutherland Heights. That's an accident at Pennington Bend Road. And also in Germantown on Monroe Street at 7th Avenue North. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.706, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Welcome on in to Friday the 13th, and yes, the day before Valentine's Day as well. You know, it's interesting, Joan, just kind of looking at some of the local news out there.
Yeah.
So apparently the Metro City Council has now come out and they have put in a resolution to ask the head of the NES to resign.
Yeah, yeah.
So is there anybody that thinks that that's actually going to happen? It seems, just to be honest, it seems kind of silly to me because she's not going to resign.
Yeah.
I mean, if she was going to resign, I would think anyway that she would have done it now. But what's the details on the story?
So I would love to tell you that I know, but I've been, driving in a car.
You've been driving in the car? Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and
I think you know more than I do,
I'll go ahead and give the details of the story.
Good.
So basically, Metro City Council, they have filed now a resolution, a non-binding resolution, by the way, for the removal of the CEO of Nashville Electric Service after January's winter storm left nearly 250,000 customers without power. But it's a non-binding resolution. So I get that they are sending a message to NES that they believe that they should step down, that she should step down. But I think it's clear that they're not going to be. She won't be stepping down. The entire board is clearly not going to step down. But Teresa Broyles-Applin, is it Applin or Applin? It's Applin. I've heard it both ways. So the only people that can fire her, of course, as everyone knows at this point, is the board, and they're not going to do it. So you had Courtney Johnston was one, and Emily Benedict, both members asking the NES board to remove her, the Public Utilities top-ranking official. Benedict, whose East Nashville district saw widespread outages, addressed the NES board earlier this week. And she said, this isn't about the linemen's effort. She said during the Tuesday meeting, this is about whether they were given the tools to succeed, the linemen. When a third of a district is without power for 2 weeks, that's not what residents call a good response. The resolution itself does not require action, but formally urges the board to consider removing the CEO.
They had to remove the whole board. But further on that Emily Benedict, what I'm seeing anyway, is that she said that she was wondering if inaction by Metro could lead to state intervention and calling it a failure of leadership, of course. So then maybe this sort of opens the door for the state to step in and say, okay, out with you. Let's get somebody else in here.
I mean, somebody's got to do something.
Yeah.
Like this whole notion, and I get so frustrated because the no accountability BS that we've seen in this city with Adrian Battle and the Metro School Board, and nobody can fire her but the school board, and the school board is terrified of her, even though she's cost the school district millions of dollars in lawsuits, all of that stuff. And now this here with NES.
If Mayor O'Connell had a spine instead of a noodle back there,
yes,
I think that this would happen, but it's not.
Bold of you to assume he even has a noodle.
Mayor Freddie O'Connell said last week, and I don't want to think about a noodle and Freddie O'Connell. Thank you, though. Mayor Freddie O'Connell said last week that he does not have unilateral authority. You know what? I wonder if there's an argument that he does. Like, all I keep hearing from the mayor's office is that he does not have unilateral authority to remove either the NES board or its CEO, noting that responsibility ultimately falls to the Metro Council. So Freddie is saying the Metro Council has the authority. The Metro Council is telling the board to remove her. And I don't know if anybody knows really who has ultimate authority. I've got to tell you, the state legislature, obviously, and we spoke to Jack Johnson, Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson, a week ago now, I think. And they're all looking at who ultimately has responsibility to make a decision on this. But, you know, it's clear, and I've said this before, and people actually literally laughed at me, Joan.
Yeah.
You would think that if you're the CEO, if you are Teresa Broyles-Applin, you would think that nobody wants you here.
Yeah. So
step aside and let the adults take action. I mean, that's what I would say. And so now we have, I mean, the governor has had his piece on this, I believe. You know, Wet Noodle O'Connell has had his said his piece on this, not really making much of a decision or taking a stand on this. The conservative state legislature, hopefully they will be able to step in, but I think they're just trying to figure all of this out. But, you know, my worry is that, you know, should we start calling Freddie O'Connell Wet Noodle Freddie?
Oh, I like that.
Does that have like a ring to it?
It does.
Wet Noodle Freddie? Okay, so we'll call him Wet Noodle Freddie. So anyway, the mayor, he's clearly not wanting to take a stand. And so now the question is, there's a number of things here. But do you think that they've learned anything? Do you think that the Metro City Council, because remember, it's the Metro Council who approves these board members. And in talking to these folks, I mean, they're never really sold on some of these board members. And so they may have voted for these people, but they didn't really, you know, they're like, I'm way outvoted anyway, so go ahead and vote for them or whatever. But I wonder if they're going to start looking at these board members now and looking at the people that are in charge of NES, and they're going to take an extra look at their resume. And they're going to say, okay, you know what? We actually need somebody. We are was it the 11th largest electrical service in the country?
Oh, wow.
I think we're 11th largest. I seem to have heard that. And so we need somebody who had actual experience at working with electrical grids and so forth. And this, Teresa Broyles-Applin did not. You know, in radio, and Joan, you and I both know this, in radio, at least it used to be this way, you pay your dues in a smaller market.
Yeah.
And then you work your way up into a bigger market. So you mean to tell me that there's not, you know, some person who works in a smaller city somewhere, but, you know, they've got a grid and it's a grid that is, you know, maybe perhaps, I don't know, like our grid, but they've got grid experience. And they've got experience in trying to, you know, preserve power when storms come in. You mean to tell me that person wouldn't want to move to Nashville, Tennessee, wouldn't want to come to a bigger city and have more responsibility? I read somewhere she's got a $300,000 a year job.
Yes.
You mean to tell me that there's nobody with actual experience in dealing with, you know, grids and public utilities that couldn't come in and clean house and figure out how to keep the power on?
So in just the last 4 years, the customer base has grown by almost 60,000.
Okay.
But they knew that. So if they knew that, they should have been working on how to make the system resilient to things like this. I just feel like this incident has helped the rats to find a new way to get their cheese. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're realizing now who their friends are. So they'll go to this person to be protected, and they'll make this maneuver to keep a hold of their jobs instead of doing the right thing, instead of realizing that, hey, I did wrong here. The effort is always going to be deflect, deflect, deflect.
Have we gotten to how much it cost?
To get the power back on?
Apparently the estimate, the recovery efforts cost approximately $140 million.
Yeah, but those trees were sure nice, weren't they?
Oh, they're so pretty.
The tree canopy.
They smell terrible when they bloom. Bradford pears, I'm talking to you.
Mother Nature took care of the canopy, didn't she? So, yeah, for me, I mean, waiting 6 months or 9 months or a year for the whether it's NES to finish their investigation into themselves, Metro City Council, the governor's not the governor's office, the mayor's office. I would actually like the governor to take a look at what the heck happened. I don't know if he's got his own investigation going on. I haven't heard that he does, but I really would. If I could implore our friends at the state legislature to try to somehow take more control over NES, I think we would all be safer for it. It is 7:15, time to check the roads on WTN. $7:16 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, hate to do this on the air. Sam, you need to call the guy for the 7:30 and make sure that he can do it. I sent you the phone number because they did not confirm with me because, Joan, today is Friday the 13th, and if it can go wrong, it will go on. People at the Heritage Foundation did not confirm the interview, so if you could call him and make sure that he's still good, that would be good. I sent you the intel.
It's probably going to go wrong. I'm just saying,
Joan,
and I want you to be prepared.
I thank you for that, Joan, because I do believe that it will more than likely go wrong as well, because that's the way that our day has been going here on Nashville's Morning News and Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, we got a lot of stuff going on. We were talking about what is happening in Minnesota. I want to go back to, real quickly, Stephen Miller. Everybody knows Stephen Miller. Everybody loves Stephen Miller, at least if you're on the conservative side of the aisle. So he was on with Sean Hannity last night, and got some audio here. He was on with Sean Hannity last night because I was talking about with Jonathan Fahey. A lot of people believe that this was a failed mission in Minnesota. The Trump administration is trying to convince folks that no, it was not a failed mission. It was actually a success. Stephen Miller, of course, is out there saying, no, this was good.
The corrupt Attorney General, Keith Ellison, in Minnesota, issued an edict unlawfully requiring, all jails and prisons in the state to shield, harbor, and conceal criminally illegal aliens from ICE. And so with this agreement, those jails and those prisons are no longer going to obey the unlawful edict issued by Keith Ellison. Instead, they're going to follow federal law, the supreme law of the land, and hand over those criminally illegal aliens.
I mean, obviously, we got a situation in Minnesota where we have, in my opinion, we have seen some success. If you go to the YouTube page and you watch Nashville's Morning News, and you can see us all in our disarray this morning, take the Daily Dan poll, and you tell me, do you feel that our mission in Minnesota was a failure or a success? Because, again, personally, I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you folks that it was a success. You've got your own opinions. But me, I think that the Trump administration does have a lot to be proud of. But I also believe that it was time to move on. I also believe that. Caitlin Collins, I want to play this for you. This is really funny. Joan, you'll especially guffaw at this.
Oh, yeah. I saw this.
Well, there's a couple of different things regarding Caitlin Collins. In this particular audio soundbite, she is claiming that she and CNN are not anti-Donald Trump. You ready? Listen to this.
They always argue the media is biased against them and doesn't cover them fairly, even though we cover them, I think, fairly and accurately.
You know what's so funny? She actually, if you listen to how she says that, it almost sounds like she says inaccurately.
Yes.
She actually says and accurately.
Yeah.
But it sounds like she sort of muddied her words.
You know, they always argue the media is biased against them and doesn't cover them fairly, even though we cover them, I think, fairly and accurately.
You're really. Do you know what I wonder? This may or may not be appropriate, Joan, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it because it's been one of those days.
Yeah.
You ever been around somebody that smells really bad?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they don't smell their own BO?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is.
You want the focus to be on the subject matter and not on you personally as a reporter. And so
How many times have they said that, you know, Donald Trump is like Adolf Hitler? How many times have they,
it's not countable.
Yeah, over and over again.
Yeah.
So I don't know what in the world she's talking about.
I always try to, you know, keep that distance in terms of that. And I think keeping your composure in that point is important because you never want to prove them right on that front. That they are right, that you're biased against them, or that you have a personal, you know, angst here. I don't.
Can you remind me, Joan, Jim Acosta, he worked for CNN, did he not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he sure did.
Jim Acosta, they gave him a promotion. Right?
Yeah.
I for whatever reason, this seems to be like an ongoing theme now in whatever show I'm doing, wherever I'm doing it. The Democrats in the media, they don't even care about the truth anymore. Do they? Like, they're willing to say or do anything to try to get more power or retain power. And they're willing to lie to do it. I mean, we saw that during the Biden administration with the border is closed, the border is secure, you know, all of that stuff. And this is this morning's latest example of the Democrats willing to say or do anything to try to retain any shred of credibility, which clearly, in my opinion anyway, they don't have a shred of credibility. But you know what? Caitlin Collins, a nice try. 722 on Super Talk 99.
There's one more example that happened this morning.
Oh, okay,
that
go ahead.
I'm just fuming about, and I'm not going to play it for you because it would be very obvious who it is that said this. But this anchor said, and it's a local anchor, that this government shutdown that's coming at midnight tonight would be the third time the government was shut down during the Trump administration, and that this time we know that immigration enforcement is to blame. Those were her words, standing in front of the camera. Immigration enforcement is to blame.
We could play it.
You think?
Well, they're on TV. Yeah, you can play it. Go ahead. Well, wait, no, we can't right now. Well, shoot. I'm going to very quickly go ahead.
Okay, ready?
Now, this would be the third lapse in money during President Trump's second term. We know this time immigration enforcement is to blame.
I mean, honestly, they say it with a straight face.
It's the Democrats who are to blame because they're the ones that are choosing to shut down DHS because they want to put restrictions on ICE and DHS and
They want them to be doxxed and to be further harassed and threatened in their homes along with their families.
They want them to be unmasked. They want them to show ID so that, you know, the crazies out there will know exactly how to find them. So, see, that's the thing that drives me nuts about news, generally speaking, and certainly local news, is that, and this is what I love about what I do, is we can give the proper context on talk radio and not just, you know, a little 30-second soundbite where they give absolutely no proper context to the stories that are going on. Anyway, 724 on Super Talk 99.7. As far as the news at 7, news you can trust with Joan Jones. Coming up at 7:30. Joan, what do we got?
A 9-year-old boy has died in a terrible accident. I've got that story for you coming up here at 7:30. That's what time it is, Dan, on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, thank you, Joan. At 7:24, Dan Mandis here. For my friends at Stoltzco, a great Tennessee company, they do continue to grow and expand. You know, at Stoltzco, they do build pole barns, and these pole barns can serve as a garage, an event space, equestrian buildings, or even barn dominiums. You can live in these pole barns, and these days, these barn dominiums are new and improved. Stoltzco is now offering you turnkey options. Now, that means that they handle the design, the construction, and the amazing finishing touches. You turn the key, friends, and you are home with Stoltzco. Your new pole barn from Stoltzco can be used for anything. So if you have some land that needs a building for whatever you want, call Stoltzco. 615-622-5992. 615-622-5992. You can also find them on Instagram and Facebook to see examples of their incredible work around Middle Tennessee. STOLTZCO, Stoltzco.com. $7:25, Dan Mandis here. And listen, a lot of you folks, like me, lifelong dog owners. And so, I've seen all kinds of behaviors with my animals. I bet that you have too. If you've got a dog right now that needs some behavior training, my buddy Jeff and his crew at Ridgeside K&I Nashville, they can help. So I call them the dog whisperers. If your dog has aggression problems, potty problems, anxiety, basic obedience, they can help you help your precious pup with just about anything. They've spent the last 25 years solving behavioral issues, and yes, they can help you as well. But what I love about Ridgeside K&I Nashville is that they believe that owner education is just as important as dog training, and long-term success with your dog begins with you. And Ridgeside K&I Nashville actually heard from a couple of listeners in the last couple of days. They've reached out to Ridgeside K&I Nashville, and they, along with their dogs, are on the road to fixing those behavior issues. So make this the year that your dog finally listens. Call Jeff today, 615-878-0380, 615-878-0380. They've got a lifetime support guarantee. They're there for you 24/7. The website is rsk9nash.com. The letter K, the number 9, rsk9nash.com. Ridgeside K&I Nashville, veteran-owned, proven results, and guaranteed for life.
Good morning. It is 7:30 now, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. It's a little chilly. This morning's 32 degrees, and we've got a high today going to 60 in the sunshine, and lots of rain arriving over the weekend. Stick around. Stefano's got a forecast coming up right after the news. Washington lawmakers are leaving town now for a recess 2 weeks long, and they still don't have a deal to fund the Department of Homeland Security past midnight tonight. That all but ensures a partial government shutdown. Now, the fight is over funding for DHS. ABC's Jay O'Brien says DHS would be forced to stay on the job, a lot of the workers there, without getting paid.
More than 93% of ICE and Customs and Border Protection expected to remain on the job. Last week, Congress ended a partial government shutdown by fully funding every agency except DHS. Democrats demanding reforms to ICE first, including requiring warrants signed by a judge before arrests and prohibiting agents from wearing masks.
Now, that's ABC's Jay O'Brien. His report leads you to believe that right now ICE raids can be performed without a judge's signature on a warrant. That is not true. They are currently done with administrative judges. Democrats are demanding that ICE obtain warrants, however, signed by independent federal judges or court officials before entering private property or making certain arrests. A young boy is dead after a trip to a local Outlook. Channel 4's Tracy Cornett tells us this happened in Monterey at B Outlook.
Crews descended that overlook and discovered it was a 9-year-old boy. They started life-saving measures, but that boy was dead.
Yeah, he had fallen off a cliff there. Rescuers brought his body back to the top of B Rock and then transported him to the state medical examiner's office. That is the latest news. We've got your traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. 7:32. Dan Mandis here, Nashville's Morning News for Brentwood Jewelry. Valentine's Day is tomorrow, guys. So if you haven't figured out what to get your lovely lady, think about Brentwood Jewelry. They've always got great deals to not only save you money, but get a great gift for the lady in your life. So if you want to get a ring, a watch, earrings, necklaces, pendants for Valentine's Day for the lady in your life, go ahead. Go to Brentwood Jewelry. And ladies, for the guys in your life, they've got all the classic brands of watches, money clips, and a whole lot more. And with great selection and value, something for every budget, Brentwood Jewelry is where you need to go. Now, Brentwood Jewelry is the official jewelry store of my house. I bought Amy a couple of sets of earrings from Brentwood Jewelry. She bought me an amazing watch, and I can't think of a better place to buy engagement rings. So stop by Brentwood Jewelry for whatever the occasion, 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Exceptional style, exceptional deals for over 50 years. BrentwoodJewelry.com.
Bell Road west of I-24 in Antioch. That's the scene of an accident this morning. Got another one on Ellington Parkway in East Nashville. It's at the southbound off-ramp to Spring Street. And then in Arrington on Murfreesboro Road west of Horton Highway. Watch for another crash in that spot. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$7:37 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Appreciate you listening. And Super Text line is open 615-737-9986, 615-737-WWTN. Iran is always going to be something that we talk about, and want to welcome on into the program from the Heritage Foundation, Brent Sadler. Always great to have you on. Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu meeting this week. And it's all about Iran. So I want to get into this because they're talking about Iran's nuclear capabilities, which, I mean, I know that Trump was able to obliterate, as the president says, their nuclear capabilities months ago. But now you've got Israel and the president really negotiating over what the president can do with Iran. Can you shed some light on what's going on?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm not sure it's really a negotiation between, Israel and the United States as to, what we're going to do. I think it's more along the lines of coordinating and sharing information so that the same sight picture. But the mullahs in Tehran, what they're doing right now is they're trying to buy for time through the negotiations, is talk a lot, give a little, if anything, and try and run the clock to our midterm elections, completely distract everyone here.
That's really interesting. And as I'm reading through all of this, part of my question is, how far has Iran been able to progress towards having nuclear capabilities again? Are they trying to rebuild the infrastructure that, the president was able to, as he said, obliterate?
I think there's every indication of that. From the satellite images, they've put tarps and coverings so that satellites can't see directly into the extent at which they're excavating and trying to recover what was destroyed, or at least what's salvageable of the highly enriched uranium that they do have. Certainly they were set back quite severely, but what's not changed is their intent to get that nuclear weapon.
One of the things that I find interesting about Iran, of course, is that we know what we did to them militarily, and we also know that Iran has had a lot of issues over the past couple of months. We had the massive protests, Donald Trump, of course, threatening Iran and telling the protesters essentially that he had their back. And we do, I believe, still have some military capabilities in the region. So I've found it interesting that Iran continues to talk tough, knowing what we're capable of militarily.
Well, I think the the regime in Tehran knows that after killing upwards of 30,000 of their own citizens, they've crossed a line which they can't return against. And I think the people of Iran see the regime as much of an enemy as any other. And so they're in a corner. They know that if they show any weakness at this stage, it's very likely that their whole regime will unravel. I think the military forces that the president continued to build up. I mean, the announcement, it's not a surprise that he's going to send another carrier strike group. Which one he picked, the Ford, that's been down in the Caribbean for many months going after the drug runners and supporting the operation against Maduro, is interesting. But the military force that's being built up is not to do the exact type of strikes that were done to go after a very precise few sites in the nuclear weapons program of Iran. This appears to be much more robust and to provide the president a whole wider range of sustained military operations.
One of the things that I have found interesting in reading about all of this, Israel has long called, and this is from the Associated Press, Israel has long called for Iran to cease all uranium enrichment, dial back its ballistic missile program, and cut ties to militant groups across the region. Is that something, even if Iran agreed to that, I mean, can you trust them to actually stand by their word? How do you verify that Iran is not doing or going back to funding terrorism?
Yeah, that's the rub. I mean, the regime in Tehran could agree to all that and then not change its behavior, which means that Israel, United States, and our Middle Eastern partners are going to still have to confront and aggressively go after all of Iran's proxies as it continues to try to rebuild its network. Right now, those networks, that Iran's proxies throughout the region, are really weakened, and Iran's ability to resupply them is also severely attrited. So it's really a negotiation that we already have what we want, but it's going to be really hard to enforce. I mean, the bigger one is the insistence from the president that Iran stop killing the protesters. And so the other news that's good and worthwhile is the Starlinks that have been sent in or snuck into Iran hopefully gives us better insight as to what's happening in Iran, so there can be a judgment as to whether or not the regime is acting in a very illegal ways on top of everything else.
Well, I mean, you just said it. Brent Sadler joining us from the Heritage Foundation, talking about Iran, President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu meeting for the 7th time this week. But one of the things is, I mean, there seems to be no doubt that there were 20, 30,000 protesters that were killed. And so President Trump is told Iran in no uncertain terms, don't do that. And they keep doing it. So I guess the question is, they're going to keep doing it. They're not going to listen to President Trump. They're going to keep doing it. Is it reasonable to think that they would stop doing that, even though they seem to be thumbing their nose at President Trump at every turn?
Yeah, I mean, I think the bigger issue here is, will the United States will strike Iran? And I think the odds of that are very, very high. For all the reasons. This regime's nature is not to change and cannot sanction making the types of concessions that are required to prevent that. Because in some respects, like don't kill your protesters, which right now is very widespread dissentiment against the regime. There's no indication the protests have started up again, but that's not to say the Iranian people aren't seething. And so, yeah, if we don't follow through, it'd be very similar to the President Obama's red line after the Assad regime used chemical weapons against their own people and did nothing. Yep. It incited an even more aggressive and more, decade-long civil war. We could see a similar type of setting back of American interest if we're not careful on how this proceeds.
It's going to be really interesting. I've got a couple more questions for you regarding sanctions and some other things. And, if the current leadership in Iran ultimately ends up as taken out one way or another, who is going to fill that void? Brent Sadler is joining us here on Super Talk 99.7. Real quickly, got to check the roads on WTN. Very good. Sunny today and a high of 61. All right. So, Brent, let me ask you about Iran's economy. How is it doing? I keep hearing that it's in tatters. You tell me, how bad is it, and how can we use that to our advantage?
Yes, I mean, the regime really relies on proceeds from, illicit networks, but really from the trade in energy, even though their ability to produce, it's also like Venezuela, been reducing over years. So going after the dark fleet, the tankers, that's one way to try to isolate them. The other is to continue to sanction and prevent them from getting the type of investment and capital and repair of that infrastructure of their refining and their production capacity for energy. That definitely sets them back. But again, I think what really is good to see is increasingly sanctions and designation of like the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard Corps, that's involved in a lot of nefarious actions outside of Iran, and also killed many of those protesters by many of our allies in Western Europe that have been, very silent in the past, if not willing to deal with this regime, perhaps to our own detriment of self-interest. So there seems to be a gathering momentum of applying pressure, and that now is the time to give the push against the regime such that the Iranian people have the space to get a government that's responsible for them.
Do the Iranian people feel let down because the Trump administration said, help is coming and we've got your back and some of these other things, and then ultimately nothing happened?
I think that sentiment's out there. You get it from some of the messages that come outside of Iran, and you can't say it's very understandable. But again, the reality is this is a choice for the Iranian people. They have to want to change this regime, and it's one that, should they rise up, hopefully there's a possibility of giving them the type of support that will help them take their country back. But again, it's a very delicate thing. If you come in too hard, it can look like it's an American intervention trying to take over Iran, and that will alienate the movement against the regime and probably diminish it. The other side is if you do nothing, then you alienate and you create resentment amongst those that would be your likely allies in a new Iranian regime. At the same time, you've made it very likely that the mullahs who stay in power will continue and probably be emboldened to do even more aggressive things. So it's a Goldilocks syndrome. You've got to get it just right. And having those aircraft carrier strike groups it's just the right type of weapon and tool. You can use it like a scalpel, and you can use it when the president decides, not with the veto or the knowledge of anyone else in the region. And while many in the region want us and don't like that regime and want us to help push the regime's toppling, again, they're not quite ready for us to be operating out of their countries yet, like Qatar.
Brent, let me ask you this question. This is a little deeper. So you've got the mullahs, right? How many of these guys have to go in order to get a new regime in or a new government in? Because from what I understand in Iran, you've got the mullahs and then you've got like mayors of the little regions around Iran as well. How difficult is it going to be if we go down this road to extract that government?
Yeah, so I mean, I think the 1979 revolution in Iran is the best kind of analog to this. It's very different than what's happening in Venezuela. Venezuela has in living memory had a functioning democracy. And so it's in living memory. They have a constitution that's largely, the main points are still there. So allowing the Venezuelan people to use their constitution, again, with the pressure from the United States, that's still playing out. There's not the same kind of dynamic in Iran. So the people of Iran are going to have to rise up. They're going to have to take back cities. They're going to have to topple the regime because this regime, theocratic dictatorship as it is rotten to the core. Yeah. It is all designed to promote a very narrow interest group for supposed theocratic purposes, but it's not what they're about.
So let's say that somehow we are able to, or the Iranian people are able to do what they need to do and extract this government that is currently running Iran. Who is waiting in the wings? I know that there's a number of different groups that are there that we could end up with a situation where you've got all these different groups warring.
Yes, I mean, this is, history has got lots of examples of this. China went through this in the early 1900s when their democratic experiment faltered for a long time. Now they got a communist regime that has, as a result. In the case of Iran, I think the most important thing is that the United States not pick winners and losers amongst the opposition forces in Iran, but to basically support the effort and also make sure that the Iranian people get to choose and that there isn't, a new dictatorship that comes in place, maybe one better than the mullahs, but one also just as brittle and also prone to being toppled because it's suppressing too many of its own people. It's going to be messy for sure. But at the end of the day, what we've got right now with the mullahs is one that's willing to attack and kill Americans with lots of American blood on their hands. The key thing is to make sure that as the Iranian people stand up, it's like they'll only get our support if they're looking for a better future, a peaceful one and a prosperous one, and they don't view the United States as an enemy.
Brent, always great to talk to you folks at the Heritage Foundation. Have a great weekend and a terrific perspective, and we'll talk again soon. 7:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here. Friday across Middle Tennessee. And Joan, just really quickly, I don't know if I have time to do this now. Did I see that inflation numbers are out?
Inflation numbers are out. Yeah, that's part of the upcoming stories here.
Can you spare me the next 9 minutes and just tell me what the inflation did?
Okay. So the numbers came in great.
Yes.
A 2.4% hike in consumer prices. That's a year-over-year number, and that was for last month. It's better than economists were expecting.
I like the headline on CNN.
Yeah.
Where inflation has cooled to 2.4%. I mean, it's great. And, you know, Trump is always besting. We've talked about this before, but the president is always besting what the predictions are. And I know that the president loves that. Obviously, we love that as well. And the fact that CNN has to report it is the cherry on the top of the cake. So there you go.
Ha. Yeah.
Well, we'll have more on that from Joan Jones coming up in the news at 8. And what else we got, Joan?
There was a car that was pulled out of the Cumberland River this morning. Details on what happened there coming up at 8 o'clock.
All right, Joan, thank you very much. 7:53, Super Talk 99.7. Listen, a lot of us simply are not where we want to be physically. You know, we can eat right, we can exercise, but the reality is that sometimes we need a little help. And my friends at Contours in Cool Springs, they are here to help both women and men lose body fat and a whole lot more. Their ultra slim body contouring guarantees, friends, that you are going to lose a couple of inches on that first treatment, or it is free. It is non-invasive. It doesn't hurt. And the results, of course, are instant. I've gone through the process. Matt Murphy has done it as well. And we can both tell you that it works. Now, here's the deal. At Contours, they also do facials. And so if you haven't gotten your significant other anything for Valentine's Day, it is not too late. Now, the facials at Contours featuring red light technology, they are revitalizing. The red light therapy is going to tighten your skin and restore your natural glow. Remember, Contours is for both women and men, and you should check them out online, contoursllc.com. That's contoursllc.com. And by the way, again, that red light therapy facials would make a great Valentine's Day gift. 615-236-9960, 615-236-9960, contoursllc.com. $7:55 on Super Talk Generator Super Center. Listen, if there's one thing that we've learned over the last week is that we simply cannot count on NES or the government for anything, certainly not keeping the power on it, which is why I am reaching out to my friends at the Generator Super Center to start figuring out my needs for a backup home standby generator. How about you? Now, I learned many years ago the importance of generators during power outages during my time in Indiana. Now, last few weeks was a not so subtle reminder as to the power of Mother Nature. So if you've been talking about the whole house backup generators with your family, talk about it with the pros at the Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. This is a great company. This is a big investment, not only in your home, but also your family's safety. Now, at the Generator Supercenter, they do feature expert installation and, yes, 24-hour monitoring as well. They're not going to leave you in the dark like NES, and financing is available. Call them. Tell them Dan told you to reach out. If you're in the market for one of these backup home standby generators, 615-879-1952, 615-879-1952, Generator Supercenter of Nashville.com. Do you know what is strange, Joan?
Yeah, what is that?
Is that the more of these songs that I hear celebrating Valentine's Day, the more violent I feel. Like, why is that? It's so weird.
It's having the opposite effect on you, Dan.
It is.
Oh.
You know what? You need to play some death metal to put me back in a good mood.
That'll right the ship.
Aren't you be hating on the Four Seasons?
Clearly, they needed a 5th season. I'm just kidding. Now the Four Seasons people are going to start attacking me.
Yeah.
Hey, Jersey Boys was a solid movie.
Yeah, okay. Whatever you say, Sam. I that's one song that I've heard that is a good movie. But, you know, of all the love songs you could have picked, that's the one that you chose.
It's premiered in it's the premiere song in 10 Things I Hate About You, which is one of the greatest Valentine's Day movies ever.
Okay.
Okay, I think that was the movie. 10 Things I Hate About You.
Okay. So we were having this text discussion over the last couple of days. We couldn't remember it.
All right, so we got to tell people just real quickly. Joan sends us both, me and Sam, a group text, and she's like, "What was that movie that I was supposed to watch this weekend?" And I'm completely oblivious to anything.
But she introduced it like Joe Biden. You know, the thing.
Yeah,
and you're just like, what context are we getting here?
So, but that is the one.
And you guys said,
actually.
like, every movie known to modern man except that one.
I know. I said The Devil Wears Prada, and among other things. And so, but yeah, that's the one. And that's a great movie. So you need to, hey, Joan, write it down.
I'm going to write it down right now.
And by the way, a great love song, George Strait. Write that down. It's also great. What? Whatever.
Just your country singer accent is hilarious.
Ron says, Dan, you're just uncultured.
Well, that's not fair.
Well, should I point out that he used the wrong version of your? See that? You know what's so fun? Whenever people, this is the weirdest thing about me. Whenever people insult me, and I get insulted a lot, they always use the wrong version or form of your.
Yeah.
And so then I get to which I know Ron, I love Ron, so it's all fine, well and good. But I just find it funny. If you're
not anymore. Now he's not going to be your friend anymore.
If you're insulting me, friends, make sure that you say YOU''RE. You are your. That's the way to insult the host. Then I got no comeback. Anyway, it's 8 o'clock on WTN.
Good morning, now 8 o'clock, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The State House has passed a bill that allows Tennessee public and charter schools to display certain historical documents.
Those documents include the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, the state and U.S. Constitution, and the Ten Commandments.
Yeah, Channel 4's Hunter Hoagland there. The documents would be allowed to be posted using wall posters or other hard copy printed versions in a prominent location, including in entryways, cafeterias, and common areas. Now, Texas passed the first version of this bill, but some parents have now sued. The Tennessee version of the bill is headed to the state Senate now. Crews rescuing a man who crashed his car into the Cumberland River early this morning. This happened in Donaldson at McGavock Pike and Pennington Bend at about 4:30 this morning. News 2 reports the driver actually crashed through a chain barrier, ripped out the concrete post with the car from the foundation, and then he traveled down the boat ramp at a high rate of speed and into the river. Crews were able to pull the man from the car. They took him to the hospital, but we don't have word on his condition just yet. We know why officials in Pima County, Arizona, have been asking neighbors to check their doorbell camera footage, not just for images on the night that Nancy Guthrie disappeared, but also for the night of January 31st.
The sheriff's department said there was a suspicious vehicle on Guthrie Street between 9:30 and 11 a.m. January 31st, the day Nancy Guthrie was last seen. Authorities are analyzing 2 black gloves found near her home. The gloves are now being tested for DNA and blood. Drops of Nancy Guthrie's blood were found near her front door.
That's ABC's Aaron Katersky. Some infighting there in Arizona, too, among the investigators. The FBI is saying they're not getting the support they should be from the local sheriff, Chris Nanos, the guy we've seen a lot of on the TV. The FBI reportedly found the gloves that are now being examined for DNA, but they wanted to send the gloves to their National Crime Lab in Quantico, Virginia, for testing. The gloves, however, were instead sent to a private DNA lab in Florida on the order of that sheriff. Sheriff Nanos also says the gloves may not be as important to the case as everyone thinks. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Yeah, consumer prices were out this morning, and it is a winner for the Trump administration.
We win so much, you may even get tired of winning.
Consumer prices rose 2.4% annually in January, slightly less than expected. Also out, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said he's acting, by the way, he's also the acting IRS commissioner. He says the average tax refund at this point is 22% higher so far this season. Stocks this morning.
All right, so I want to do that thing, Joan.
What thing is that?
By the way, love the... You're not going to get tired of winning. You're so tired of winning that Trump thing you just played.
So much, you may even get tired of winning.
Yeah, that part.
I love that. that was one of the funnest Donald Trump speeches ever.
Oh yeah, he was fired up that night.
He was. Well,
so,
and it's true.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
we had the Better Jobs report earlier this week.
Yep. And stock futures were like down 200 stock futures earlier. Now everything's in the green. So
there you go.
Yeah, it's helping investors feel a little happier about things.
You know what's so funny about that? Play that one more time, if you could.
Oh, sure.
The Trump thing.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning.
The way that this show has been this morning,
yeah.
I have not won one thing. Not that it's my fault or Joan's fault or Sam's fault. It's just we have had so many technical issues this morning.
It's the ghost in the machine.
It is the police.
Yes.
Very good, Joan.
Thank you.
Anyway, go ahead and finish.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning.
That is the latest news. We've got traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. So here's what we have in traffic. A crash at Fisk University, Dr. D.B. Todd Jr. Boulevard at Albion Street, Creve Hall.
Are making
a crash at 65 North on-ramp from Harding Place.
executive changes to the morning show?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Here we go.
This makes sense, though, because this is called Follow Me, Follow You, which is kind of traffic-oriented as well.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right?
Yes. But see, I heard you dissing me while I was driving in that everything that I like is Genesis.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
It's Phil Collins.
So here we go. I thought I'd play this for you because this is also one of our favorite songs.
Very good. Follow Me, Follow You. Yeah. It sounds a little stalkerish, though.
It might be.
Right up there with Every Breath You Take.
I might have stalked him a little bit when we were dating.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Well, I really liked him. He drove a Firebird.
Wow, I didn't know you were so superficial.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, I might have stalked him a little.
All right. Hey, you want to do some fun with audio?
Sure, let's do.
Well, you got to finish your thing. Your traffic.
Oh, you want me to finish traffic?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so I tell Dr. D.B. Todd Jr. Boulevard, there's a crash at Fisk University. Watch it. Creve Hall, 65 northbound, the on-ramp from Harding Place. Whispering Hills, Edmondson Pike at Blackman Road, and then on Colmont, Tusculum Road, west of Ocala Drive. There you go.
All right, so I got a bunch of things I want to do in this segment. First of all, February 24th at Legends Steakhouse. It is our Steak of the Union. So, guy sent a note to the super text line, and I'm just going to put all modesty aside. He said, my 11-year-old son loves Dan Mandis, so if I buy tickets, can his son meet Dan Mandis? And I will say absolutely, because I'm like right at his level, right at his son's level. I thought that was funny.
Okay, it's funny.
Thank you. Got to give me some credit, man.
What the heck?
Come on, Jones. All right, so that's number one. Tickets are still available. They're going fast. So if you want to go, you got a great meal. You can meet me and Matt and Chad and Chris. And I love taking pictures and talking to you folks. So it's going to be on the 24th. We're all going to watch the State of the Union together and eat steak as well. And it's, again, called the Steak of the Union. So go to 997WTN.com. Joan, you going to go? Because here's my thing.
Yeah.
Sam, agree with me on this. I think that if Joan agreed to go, then our ticket sales would roughly double.
I would reckon they'd almost triple.
All right. I think it would triple.
No pressure, Joan.
I have a, I don't know. I enjoy
really-
my steak with a fine glass of Chianti. Well, I do.
I thought she was going to say, well, I have a previous engagement. That's what I thought she was going with that.
No, but okay, if we can arrange for a fine glass of Chianti, will you go? It's in Smyrna. And you live real close to Smyrna.
Sure.
You live about as close to Smyrna as I do.
Yeah.
So I'll give you my steak.
All right, I'm still thinking.
Okay. Because it's Legend Steak, and as a I'm air quoting this, as a talent, I get a steak, and I'll go ahead and just give you my steak.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Would I not get a steak if it weren't for you?
I don't know. I think you have to sit in this studio if you're going to get a free steak.
Well, no steak for you.
No steak for me.
But I don't know. And plus, I can't eat in front of people, so it's just I feel awkward, like, eating my steak in front of people.
Yeah.
So, and it's hard because, I like to run around and talk to people. Anyway, so just come. Joan, come to the thing. Sam, you're invited too. What?
Sam, you are necessary too, is what he meant to say, Sam.
Pass.
Hey, you know what I'd be curious about, just real quick? And then I'm gonna get to some great audio. So we've been taking all of these requests, or, what's your favorite Valentine song? Stupid. So I want to know.
How dare you?
What is the opposite of a Valentine song? What is your favorite
breakup song?
No, your favorite song that says "I hate you." Like, for example, Ugly Kid Joe, "I hate everything about you." So I want to know. I want to know from folks, what is your favorite "I hate you" song?
Ooh.
Do you have one, Joan?
I have to give that some thought.
Yeah, see, I have to think about it too. Because, I mean, most songs are love songs, but I know that there's "I hate you" songs out there. Do you know, I need some audio. Do you know what I don't hate, Joan?
What's that?
The economy right now.
Look at overall inflation for the first year of Trump versus Biden.
So this is Peter Doocy talking about Donald Trump's first year here in the second term with Joe Biden's first year related to the economy. And we're talking about overall inflation, grocery prices, gas prices, and a whole lot more. Listen.
Biden, overall inflation was up 4.3%, higher than Trump, just up 1.6%. Groceries under Biden in that time, up 3.8%, with Trump up 1.3%. And then when it comes to gas, this is crazy. Biden up 24.4%, with Trump it is actually down 5.4%. That is where the biggest difference is. And we heard from the HUD Secretary, Scott Turner, this afternoon. They are racing to cut red tape for construction projects because the belief among officials here is that if housing is the #1 place where people are getting killed when it comes to affordability, if people are cutting red tape and able to build more houses and apartments, then the prices will come down. Pretty basic supply and demand in play.
So there you go. I mean, I feel like I've got to just look at the haters out there and say, okay, so what is your problem now? Do you know what I mean? What are you complaining about now? And you heard Peter Doocy. Gas prices, Joe Biden, they're up 24.4%. Under Donald Trump, down 5.4%. Grocery prices, under Joe Biden, they were up 3.8%, and Donald Trump still up, but far lower at 1.4%. This was yesterday, by the way. And we have new inflation numbers this morning. And inflation, and remind me the numbers, Joan? Inflation has cooled.
Inflation has cooled now. It's at 2.4%. The expectation was 2.5%. And then,
okay.
But if you strip out, if you get to the core prices, core prices rose 2.5%, and that's in line. But we're still going to look at that headline number instead because that's where it's at.
That's where it's at.
Yep.
All right, very good. I mean, there's still, look, here's the deal. I've been talking about how I have such high hopes for the economy. Was it you, Joan, that just played a thing where Scott Besson said we're going to be, the average person is getting, what is it,
22% more back in their tax returns.
22% more back in their tax returns. On the super text line, let me know how you're doing with your tax returns. Now, there's going to still be people that find something to complain about, and that's fine. That's what they're going to do. But I am definitely a glass is half full kind of guy. And I think that there's a lot of stuff going right. And if you think about it, it's only February. And so we've got, what, 8 or 9 months before the midterm elections? I think things, personally, I think they're going really well. I've also got some great audio from Caroline Leavitt talking about the pullback of enforcement, law enforcement in Minnesota. She's got a great thing to say. I've got that for you coming up next at 8:15. Time to check the roads on WTN. All right, as far as your weather for today, we're talking about Sunday, high of 61, winds light and variable. Tomorrow, cloudy and expected showers on Sunday. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. Joan, I think on some days you feel light and variable as well, don't you?
Oh, yes. Certainly.
I know that Sam often feels light and variable.
I create my own wind.
Which is why I'm very appreciative of the glass.
Which is why Mason is always late. He wants the studio to air out. All right, moving right along. All right, very quickly, this is Caroline Leavitt confirming nearly 100% of Minnesota counties have agreed to notify ICE when criminal illegal aliens are being released from jails. Local police are also arresting leftist rioters. This is, as they say, a huge win.
We have seen on the ground there, and he deployed Tom Homan to the state to do it, and Tom Homan has delivered on that mission. Two very important points. Number one, Tom Homan and President Trump have achieved an unprecedented level of cooperation from state and local officials in Minnesota. Nearly every single county has now agreed to notify ICE when they are releasing criminal illegal aliens from their jails. This creates a safer law enforcement environment for everyone, and it requires less manpower to detain these illegal aliens on the ground. And then number two, in his discussions, Mr. Homan was also able to achieve a level of cooperation with local police to arrest left-wing agitators when they are engaged in unlawful behavior, which has led to calmer situation on the ground. You're no longer seeing videos of these agitators engaging in unlawful activity to break up ICE's operations, which again are continuing. Nothing will ever stop President Trump and this administration from targeted immigration enforcement focusing on the worst of the worst criminals in American communities, and that includes in Minnesota.
So the president So there you go. I mean, look, I know that we're all debating about whether or not President Trump has won or lost in Minnesota. Personally, I think we won. I think that Tom Homan, he went in, he had a goal, get the cooperation. We got that cooperation, and now we're out of there, and we're going to figure out where else we got to go. I love that. By the way, some I Hate You songs. You ready, Joan?
Ready.
I Hate Myself for Loving You.
Ah, yeah.
Joan Jett. It's My Party by Leslie Gore. You know that one, right? It's my party. I'll cry if I want to.
It's about 100 years old.
So am I, apparently. REO Speedwagon and Time for Me to Fly. Hit the Road, Jack. I think that's the Supremes, is it not? You're So Vain is an anti-Valentine
That's a good
song.
one. Yeah.
Carly Simon.
Yes, Carly Simon. And who is that for?
Oh, James, what's his name?
Brown or Taylor?
James Brown.
James
No, it's
Taylor.
not either one of those.
That was James Taylor.
No, it wasn't. Oh, was it James
One
Taylor?
of the Jameses.
There was another guy who, you know what? If only one of us had a machine to look it up.
All three of us do.
Yeah. I know, but I can't talk and Google at the same time.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was James
I imagine
Taylor.
chewing gum is a nightmare.
6601 says Shelbyville, Tennessee should be next. For
it was about Warren
Yeah,
Beatty.
Warren Beatty.
Oh.
I knew both of you were wrong. It's about Warren Beatty.
Oh.
Here's my generations. 3 Days Grace.
Okay. All right, so
I
we can
hate
be.
everything about you. Is that what the screaming words were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, can we not do that again?
You asked for heavy metal earlier. You want some I
Do you know
Hate
what I
You
did?
songs.
Why did I? I don't even know why I asked for heavy metal.
You know what? I'll bump you out to the Bee Gees.
I love the Bee Gees, actually.
Now we're back in the love circle.
I may not like the Bee Gees as much as I thought I did. Anyway, moving right along.
don't wanna
Love
feel-
Stinks. Love Stinks by Jay Giles Band.
Yeah, there you go. That's good.
That's a good one.
Love Hurts by
Nazareth.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see here. Tony in Kentucky says, I'm getting 20% more back. Congratulations, Tony. Limp Bizkit has some good hate songs.
Apparently, Lisa Marie Presley had the song Idiot. The first line is, "You're an idiot and I hate your guts." I think that qualifies.
I think that certainly does. Was that for Michael Jackson? Because didn't she was married to Michael Jackson, right?
She was for a minute.
Well, that was a sham. That was a sham marriage, right? The only reason.
No, that's ignorant.
Do you remember that kiss, Joan, with Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley on TV? Was it the MTV Music Awards? That was the most awkward kiss I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody knew. Everybody knew. I don't even know why Michael Jackson was bothering at that point.
I know. I know.
What was the point? It just didn't. It just Seemed weird. Whatever. Love Bites by Def Leppard. All right. Elton John, The Bitch is Back. Okay. You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette. We're doing, by the way, hate songs because I'm tired of love songs. I now want to know what your favorite hate songs are.
There's technically Love Song by Sarah Bareilles is a hate song.
Is it?
I'm not going to write you a love song, though you ask for it, though you need one, you see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Papa Roach, She Hates Me. There's another one.
Boy, there you go. Dan,
Yeah.
your problems are solved. You got a lot of hate songs now. You can turn the ship around, start getting in a better mood.
I'm in a great mood, Joan. It's been a fantastic show with all of our technical challenges. Anyway, 822, Nashville's Morning News. I Don't Care Anymore by Phil Collins is another one.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't say that, Joan, because the only songs you know were Phil Collins. Anyway, Joan was coming up in the news at 8:30.
We'll tell you what will happen once funding for DHS ends at midnight tonight. Looks like we're headed for that partial government shutdown. That's coming up at 8:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. 8:23, Super Talk 99.7. The crisscross handoff is coming up next. I bet you if there's one of us, of the four of us,
He already texted me.
that knows hate songs.
He already did.
Did he? Well, you know why that is because he knows all that hip hop stuff and they sing about like murder and mayhem.
But you were very correct, sir, on his selection.
Who's him?
Chris Hand.
Oh. Where is he, by the way? Is he faking getting stuck in traffic again?
He does that.
Yeah.
All right. Xfinity and their 5-year price guarantee gold medal celebration is underway. Friends, when Team USA is on, you can almost see the moment a kid starts believing that they could be next. And right now, while Xfinity cannot guarantee that, of course, they can guarantee something just as important. Then your internet price will not change for 5 years. That's right. No contracts and no commitment. Your internet price is not going to change for 5 years when you call Xfinity and mention my name. So, while your kids are ordering gear online, streaming highlight reels, or video chatting with coaches, your Xfinity internet price is not going to budge. And who knows, by the time the next Olympic Winter Games rolls around, your kid could be getting fitted for their very own Team USA uniform. And guess what? You will still be paying the same price for reliable Wi-Fi for 5 years. There's even more to enjoy with the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. That's right. The Gold Medal Celebration is going on right now through February 22nd. Get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That is a $10.99 a month value. Xfinity, imagine that, proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary. To get started, call 1-800-XFINITY. Visit Xfinity.com or drop into a store today. 8:29. Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk. Do you know, I think when this stuff is playing, Chris Hand and Joan Jones, and when Sam throw this down, it's not Nashville's Morning News, it's Nashville's Morning Snooze.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought this was an upgrade.
Marcus King is a national treasure. All right.
I just did it just to see what Dan's face would look like.
Once I got it.
You're welcome to everybody on Super Talk TV.
Once I got that, I got it.
This was my first dance song, so don't trash that.
Your first dance song?
Yes. Marcus King, Wildflowers and Wine.
I remember, Joan, do you remember what your first dance song was? I remember what mine was, believe it or not.
I do not.
Chris, do you remember what your first slow dance song was? I actually remember this.
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
My first slow dance, no.
Okay.
I'm at the wedding.
I remember who it was with.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, 8th grade. Casey Hicks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Can you, I want to know if people can guess what it was the 80s. Okay.
Okay.
It was the 80s. I want to see if people can guess 1986. I want to know if people can guess what my first slow dance song was. It's a big 80s hit slow song. I'll tell you coming up next. That's a tease. Nobody cares. Joan's got the news coming up on WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Hey, guess what today is? Don Lemon and the others who were charged with storming a church in Minnesota are being arraigned today. One charge is under the FACE Act, which has been used to imprison abortion protesters.
Two main charges at play here. So the first one is prosecutors are alleging that there's a conspiracy against civil rights. So that's basically arguing that Lemon and others interfered with worshipers' ability to attend a church service without disruption. Second, there's a charge under the FACE Act, not the clinic portion that people kind of normally attribute this to, but the part of the law that protects religious worship from force, intimidation, or physical obstruction.
That's Emma Withrow at the National Desk. Funding set to run out at midnight for the Department of Homeland Security. Democrats are demanding changes to ICE before they'll agree to making any more funding for that department. Some of the demands include requiring that agents stop wearing masks, they turn on body cameras, and get judicial warrants, not administrative warrants, before arrests.
Republicans say there aren't enough judges to sign so many warrants, and they say unmasking agents will put their safety at risk. If Homeland Security does shut down, ICE will continue to be funded, thanks to President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill signed into law last year. But a long list of other agencies will be impacted.
That's ABC's Nicole D'Antonio. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Just after the opening bell here, and Dow Jones Industrials up 39, but the NASDAQ down 40. S&P 500 index is plus 7. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. 8:32, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Window Nation. It's finally warm-ish. But listen, if the cold air has been getting into your home and the hot air is going out, you might need new windows from my friends at Window Nation. Now, when the heat is escaping and the cold gets in, you've got to call the pros at Window Nation. They've got a great deal going on right now. Buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free. That sale going on right now. Again, you can get 0 money down, 0 monthly payments, and no interest for 2 years when you call them and mention my name. Act right now, and you get an extra 10% off for Valentine's Day. Window Nation, this is a great company. I've got 4 windows from Window Nation in my home studio and in my home. 1 in my bedroom, 1 in my kitchen, 2 downstairs in my studio. They've got over 45,000 5-star reviews and a 96% customer satisfaction rating. So if you think you need new windows, call my friends at Window Nation. Buy 4, get 4 windows free. That sale going on here in the month of February. You can get them with 0 money down, 0 monthly payments, and no interest for 2 years. And you act right now, you can get an extra 10% off for Valentine's Day. Check them out online, windownation.com, windownation.com.
Couple of trouble spots now at B&A Briley Parkway, southbound side at Airways Boulevard. There's a stalled out vehicle at right there at exit 5. Paragon Mills, Harding Place, westbound side of Jonquil Drive. That one involves injuries. Nashville, Old Hickory Boulevard at Eulala Drive, and in Smyrna, Sam Ridley Parkway at Motlow College Boulevard. Watch out for a crash in that spot. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Is this like a hate song?
It is.
I hate it. I absolutely hate your hate song.
So I texted Sam. We were looking for hate songs, and I said Tupac, hit him up. It's when he accuses the notorious B.I.G.'s wife of being unfaithful.
Oh.
Is that why?
It's fascinating. Yeah. Is that why B.I.G. got
Tupac is dead?
I think that's why they're both dead. But I didn't know Sam was going to play it on the air.
Oh,
that was like an off the air thing.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
They have radio safe versions out there.
I'm glad this wasn't a love song for you, Chris.
Grab your Glock when you see Tupac.
Wow, nice.
Lenny McGill needs to work that in somehow.
They gotta. You know, the Glock store actually gets mentioned in a lot of rap songs.
Do they really?
Like, yeah, local.
Oh, I remember that.
Local Nashville artists, they shout them out all the time. There's a local guy. Well, he's out of Memphis, and then one of them's out of Nashville. His name's Don Tripp and Starlito, and they said we got kicked out of the Glock store for smelling like weed.
Oh my God!
That's in their song, and it's so good.
Okay,
so,
this is crazy. This is crazy.
I sent it to the guys. I was like, you need to work this into your social media.
I was in the Glock store. I kid you not. There are some dudes in there that smelled horrendous.
Yeah.
Like the devil's lettuce.
Yeah.
And I don't know if these are the guys that ended up getting kicked out. I left because I couldn't breathe. But
Dan was catching a contact. He said, I got to go.
Let's get that contact time.
He got all paranoid. The walls are closing in. I got to leave.
He was looking for some Doritos.
All right. So I want to try something. This is probably going to be a train wreck. Gentlemen, is my audio up? Thank you.
I love the little. I didn't know you guys have hand signals now to bring up the audio.
We've got finger signals. All right.
Okay.
Anyway, Joan and Chris, and Mason, you can play too as Sam gets ready to go. I want to see if you guys can name this tune. All right, you got the super text line up. I want to see if people. There's no way anybody is going to guess this. Joan, you ready?
I'm ready.
Chris, you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh. I know this much is true.
Dang it, I thought that was so good.
Come on, Dan. We grew up in the same era.
My first slow dance.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Peggy Hanner, 1983, 4, something like that. Yep. I started sweating.
Oh.
I'm sure that was pleasant for the girl.
It was not pleasant for Peggy. I can guarantee you that. And it was not pleasant for me either.
Was it your hands that were sweating?
It was everything.
Oh, no.
I was
Definitely
nervous.
Uncomfortable.
I get nervous when I was sweating and I was like, oh my God. They couldn't end fast enough. And she asked me. Yep. So true. Longest song.
This is a good one.
You know what it felt like? It felt like the remixed version of this song. It was like a 10-minute version. It was like In a Gata de Vida of True.
It was like a Stairway to Heaven version.
By Spandau Ballet. It could.
Spandau Ballet. Oh my gosh.
And I promise you that.
Did they have any other hits?
Oh, I don't know.
See, I thought you were asking for first songs like when you were a teenager dancing. Is that what you were asking for, or first song?
You know what? Can I be honest?
At the wedding.
Can I be honest? I've been all over the place.
Yeah.
Today.
Why do I find it hard to write the next line?
I don't know why I find it hard to write the next line or speak the next line. That's a story of my life.
Because
Whatever.
everything crashed and burned today.
I love it. It's hilarious.
I was so excited to do this bit, and Joan got it in a millisecond.
Yeah, oh yeah, she knew.
Ah, got it, Joan.
You can't get anything past her.
Yeah, mister.
Tell that to the 5 o'clock hour, Joan.
Yeah.
Oh, burn.
When Joan is driving in.
Burned by a host.
That's exactly right.
Anyway, the kids at the school say that all the time. They'll be like, "Oh, burned by a mom, burned by a girl."
Yeah, they call that herpes.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Dan. Why do you always have to degrade things?
Burned by a whatever. I don't care. What do you got for this?
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Yeah.
Well, there's other stuff going on this weekend besides Valentine's Day.
Yeah?
You know that? Are you going to watch the NBA All-Star game?
No. I will not be watching the NBA All-Star game.
Here's the thing. Nobody's going to watch the NBA All-Star game. But the Bill Simmons podcast, this guy came up with a pretty good idea on how to get people to watch it again.
Okay.
Black guys versus white guys.
Oh. I think that'd be funny.
Wouldn't you watch it?
I would absolutely watch that.
It would change the entire dynamic.
Who would win?
Well, I was getting to that.
Okay, go ahead.
I think white guys have a shot.
Really?
Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic. You got Kristaps Porzingis. Of course, they're all Eastern Europeans, but we'll take them.
I was going to say, who
we'll
are
take
these
them.
people?
We'll take them.
Okay.
Peyton Pritchard. You got the guy Cooper Flagg, Dom Knipple. We got some good white guys in the league now.
Knipple?
Knipple.
Are you sure his name's not Nipple?
No, it's Knipple.
Okay.
But I think white guys could take it. Not
you know,
lying.
there's got to be a way to like plug that into some sort of an AI.
I did.
And okay. And what happened?
It was biased against the white guys. It went full white. It went full white men can't jump. And I took that personally.
Wow.
And I needed a non-biased AI. But I think white guys could win. 2433 on the text line said, we call that salt and pepper back when I played.
It's not salt and pepper. It's salt and pepper.
Salt
Only-
and pepper's here.
There's only one thing that fewer viewers would be watching than the NBA playoffs.
What's that?
The WNBA playoffs.
Oh, God.
Do they do those?
I have no idea because I've never.
I thought the WNBA just did participation ribbons at the end of the season.
Wow. That was Chris Hand who said that.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations are in order to one Matt Murphy.
Yeah, dude,
Murphy
kudos
Show.
to Matt coming in at number 3
on the Barrett
Media Afternoon host rankings.
Yes,
check that out.
Yeah, where was he last year? I don't even know.
I don't even think he was ranked. I think this is an unprecedented victory. The way this guy has risen through the ranks. This is his first year in afternoons.
I made some calls.
Did you? Okay. How come you didn't make any calls for me, Dan?
You got to earn it.
All right,
Chris.
Fair.
No, I'm just kidding. Congratulations to Matt. I'm a big Matt Murphy fan.
Likewise.
Mhm.
That was one of the first texts I sent this morning. Congratulations.
Yeah,
dude.
I didn't even see that. So I'm very excited for Murphy Show.
I also sent some muscle emojis.
Did you some muscle?
Do you send the muscle emojis?
No.
You don't do that?
I don't. No. Maybe I should, but
yeah, you got to start working that in.
That would be the only muscle that I have is through an emoji.
Okay.
All right. So hey, our friend Pamela Furr.
Yes.
Remember we were joking about how we can't seem to get the company to get us jingles?
Yes.
So Pamela has taken to AI, and she's made me a jingle.
Oh, that's nice.
I have not heard this. So we're all going to react to this in real time. She seems very excited about this.
Is it Pamela singing?
I don't know if it's Pamela singing.
We can't confirm or deny.
Yeah, I don't know. No, because
I've heard she's got some pipes.
Oh, she's got some pipes.
She does.
I just don't know if this is her singing because, with AI, you can have, like, fake singers, I guess. Whatever. All right, so you want to hear it?
I do.
So this is Pamela Furr doing the, I don't know what, I haven't heard it. Mandis in the morning? I don't know. Let's listen together, shall we?
Talk truth every day. Damn man, this leads the way.
Are you sure this isn't for the hate song?
Turn it up. Here we go. This is the Dan Mandy Show.
Information fueled, opinion driven.
You actually should use this. It's actually pretty good.
I like it.
Yes.
It makes me want to sit on a bale of hay and drink beer.
This is like your new top of the hour.
That's actually pretty good.
I like it.
It's actually pretty good.
It's got a good little riff in there.
It's a little riffy.
Yeah.
And we like a little riffy.
Mm-hmm.
Or a lot of riffy. Whatever.
It's better than the old songs, which have been iffy. It's just, it's an upgrade. I like it. I thought that was cool.
I do. I like it too. So
I was picturing more 80s female trio. Mandis in the morning.
Yeah, I wonder, Pamela, can you do one of those? Can you do
I was picturing you remember the old Imus jingles?
Oh yeah, Rick D's in the morning.
Yeah.
Rick D's out of Memphis, right?
Yep.
Rick D's in the morning, Kiss FM.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I like that.
I mean, I don't mean to give Pamela more work. Hey, Pamela, I like it, but can you do this?
We need some tweaks.
She has nothing more to do than to.
And we need more
jingles.
cowbell.
Yeah,
we also need more cowbell.
There was a suspicious lack of cowbell.
All right. Anyway,
I thought that was good.
No, it was good.
8512 said, "Dang good. Use it."
There you go. Let's see here, Joan.
Yeah.
What are you doing for Valentine's Day? Let's go around the room.
So my husband bought. We like to do surf and turf, always for I don't know why, but
That's like eating fish. Surf and turf.
surf.
No, honestly,
And
goodness,
turf.
I don't know what it means.
So
You don't know how old are you?
It's none of your business. 58.
okay, so we have lobster tail and filet mignon.
You've never heard of surf and
Surf
turf?
No, I
and
never
turf.
have. So you're eating fish and steak?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
You've never. I don't
I
believe
know.
this. I don't believe
He's
this.
not being serious.
He can't be. You're trolling. You're trolling me right now.
Yes, you
No,
are.
I've never done surf and turf. Never have.
But you know what it is.
Sure, Mason.
Do you go to restaurants?
Yeah, have you ever been?
Yeah, on occasion. Hey, you guys want to hear my new jingle? I try to change the subject,
Wow.
I wonder if Legend Steakhouse has a surf and turf
Oh, yeah.
man. You
special
know what?
that you can awkwardly stare at and not eat in front of everybody because you're self-conscious.
You know what? I told Joan I'd give her my steak. So if she wants my steak
And a fine bottle of Chianti?
and a fine bottle of Chianti, some fava beans.
Whoa. I noticed that just got upped. It went from a glass of Chianti on my ride in to a bottle of Chianti.
Yeah, what's up with that, Joan?
going
It's
on,
the
Joan?
never-ending glass. All right.
Okay, now she's gone from a glass to a bottle to a never-ending glass or bottle.
Well, by the time I get to the end of one bottle, I'll be done anyway.
Am I going to have to pay for your Uber ride home too?
Yeah.
You drunkard?
Yeah. But is there a problem with that?
Is that all? All right, this I can go back to the jingle. Nobody else got to talk.
It's an expensive Uber ride.
That's a high note right there.
I like it.
Yeah, you like it?
I think we need to work in the voice guy,
Sure.
and then that needs to run us the top of the hour.
The voice guy
100%.
for sure.
You know what? Hey, Mason, 850. Let's do a quick Daily Dan poll. Should we use Pamela's jingle as my new intro for Nashville's morning news?
And I guess you don't have to credit anybody because it's AI, right?
Yeah. Correct.
4460 texted in and said, "I'm sure that Disney cruise had surf and turf last year."
Oh, my goodness gracious. I did not thank you, Murphy Show. I did not go on a Disney cruise. Do you know the story behind that, Joan?
I don't know the full story, I don't think.
I went on a cruise, and it was, who was it, Chris? It was Royal Caribbean.
Yeah.
So I went on a very nice Royal Caribbean cruise
I
with
believe
my...
it's called the Disney Destiny.
Yeah.
With my...
That's what I thought too.
With my wife and Riker. And Murphy gets on the air, and he tells everybody that I'm going on a Disney cruise, which I specifically did not go on a Disney cruise. It was a Royal Caribbean cruise. And so then I get back and I'm seeing all this hatred for me because I went on a Disney cruise.
That was when we
So-
started using AI, and we had President Trump say, "I hope Mandis has a great."
Oh my gosh, that
Remember
was so, did you do that?
Yeah, he
that
said-
was
he said,
so
I hope,
funny.
I hope Mandis has a great time on his Disney cruise.
I
wouldn't
remember
go
that.
on one.
Do you still have that?
Too woke for me,
Oh,
obviously.
that was so funny.
I have it somewhere, but we played it till the breaks wore out.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, boy, I've had a lot of feedback today on the super text line. Not all of it good, by the way. One guy, you know what? I like this. One guy, this is witty comebacks. This is what you need to figure out, Chris.
Okay.
So one guy, I was interviewing a dude about Iran. And the guy accused me of asking 5th grade questions.
Wow.
And I said, that's awesome because usually I'm at 3rd grade level.
Oh.
And I thought that was funny.
That's pretty good.
Isn't that good?
That's pretty good. What were your 5th grade questions?
I don't know. I didn't write them down. I thought they were pretty good. Jones, you like my questions to the Iran guy?
I did, yeah. Somebody accused you of asking 5th grade questions?
Yeah, but that's okay. I don't care.
See, that's what happens when you call for hate in songs. You get hate out of people.
Do you know what, Joan? Here's the deal, though.
What?
I may ask 5th grade level questions, but I've got a jingle.
Turn it up, here we go. This is the Dan Mandy Show.
There you go.
5725 said, I think I heard that jingle on Disney Plus.
Oh, very good. All right, Roka. So we gotta let's promote the steak thing. So Joan's gonna be there.
Joan is gonna be there, double fisting Chianti.
I didn't.
Are you ready? We're gonna play Edward Chianti hands.
You guys,
so we're gonna. You remember you ever do that? Edward 40 hands back in the day.
I don't do work night things.
We're gonna duct tape a bottle of Chianti in each hand. And then we won't remove them until they're empty.
We'll pour you into a cab, send you back to wherever it is that you live.
Edward Chianti hands.
Edward Chianti. That's actually very funny.
We're going to do that.
So, and somebody asked their 11-year-old kid is a big Dan Mandis fan, obviously because I'm at his level.
Yeah.
And he said, can we meet the various hosts and so forth? And absolutely, that's the whole point.
100%.
Great. Now I have people offering on the super text line. More than happy to assist Joan with a never-ending glass of Chianti. Thanks, guys.
Hey, real quick. Do you know, guess how much, Comic-Con, right? They just had Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that at Comic-Con, they make you pay to get in, and then you've got to pay to have your picture taken with some of these stars?
Yeah, and then here's the thing. They don't tell you what times or when people are going to be showing up.
Friend of mine paid, I think it was $75 for one picture with Ralph Macchio. The Karate Kid. Now, I'm not hating on Ralph Macchio, but really?
Here's what the pros...
That's kind of messed up.
Here's what the pros do.
Yeah.
You stake them out in the parking lot.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The selfies are free.
If the company came to us and they said, hey, we want to have an event, we want to charge people like $5 to get your picture taken with them, I would never in a million years do that.
Of course not. I mean, it would cut into what I'm already charging, which is $20 a picture. It's they're lowballing, So the cash only, by the way, at State of the Union.
You think you're going to get $20?
Cash only.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the deal. I could charge more because I've got a jingle.
Turn it up.
All right, I'm done with that. Anyway, thank you, Pamela. I like it. Yeah, $75 for Ralph Macchio. There was my memory is so old manish. What's the show that I watched with Amy?
Yeah, it's a great hint. It's a great hint, Dan.
I can't remember what it is.
You nailed it.
The Flintstones.
No, not the Flintstones. You would know what it is because it's for the younger kids.
The Golden Girls.
No, not the Golden Girls.
We love the Golden Girls.
Amy, what was the show that we just watched?
I don't have
Vecna.
I don't have Disney Plus.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Like $100 to get your picture taken with Vecna from Stranger Things. And people are lined up across the hallway to do it.
And he's not even in makeup.
No.
It's just the actor.
It's just the actors.
The only thing I know about Stranger Things is that it took them longer to have the big speech about the kid coming out as gay than it did for us to capture Maduro.
Okay.
That's where my Stranger Things education begins and ends.
All right, listen, you know what we're going to do? We're going to jingle out.
This is the Dan Mandy Show.
Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. And don't forget, I'll be at the Wilson County Fairgrounds tomorrow with Busy Bee from 9:30 to noon. Wilson County Fairgrounds at the Southern Home Garden Show thing. Looking forward to meeting you folks. All right, 8:56. DT McCall is a great Tennessee company. They are here for their fellow Tennesseans with great prices, selection, and value as well. I've been telling you for years about DT McCall's. They've been helping people out for 4 generations. And if you need it, they've got it at DT McCall's. Indoor furniture and also appliances as well. 5 locations across Middle Tennessee: Carthage, Cookeville, Lebanon, Lafayette, and Franklin. Always online, dtmccalls.com.